is the Big O Show. This 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 is...
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge, Total Landscape Solutions.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Slohman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Slohman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rheaume. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rheaume can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Inside on the South Florida beat.
December 26th, the day after Christmas. We are live, baby, right here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines on day number 18,971 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions. Day number 8,754 since the Miami Hurricanes were national champions. Damn. The glare. And welcome. The great Sean Stanley is by my side. We will have some fun today. David Furones from the South Florida Sun Sentinel will join us. We'll talk a little Dolphins with him. Manny Navarro will join us from The Athletic. We'll talk a little Hurricanes. We'll get the wise guy picks like we always do on Fridays. The great Larry Schlossberg is going to come by and have some fun. So we got a lot of stuff going on here on the program today over the next couple of hours. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. It's always important to smash the like button. Besides visiting our great sponsors, you can also make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo. Add Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, which I see Bitcoin just made a dip to 86.9. There we go. It's a beautiful thing. Dips are beautiful. Anyway. So we got lots of stuff to talk about. Obviously had some NFL games yesterday. Kind of went back and forth with those NFL games. I really wanted to watch Spurs and OKC yesterday. That, to me, was the highlight. None of the NFL games were I mean, well, okay, what am I going to watch? Cowboys, Commanders? Give me a break. I mean, I watched a few minutes of it, but it just wasn't going to – then Vikings and Lions, and, the pathetic way the Lions have just kind of fizzled out, which, by the way, Dan Campbell, you know what I mean? And the Chiefs season was already over, so the Broncos eked one out again, which they continue to play with fire. You can sometimes, sometimes you pull it off and you go an entire season where you win all these close games, but, man – yesterday, you weren't playing a good team, but just that stuff is going to catch up to the Broncos at one point or another, and probably in the postseason, you just can't keep winning by the edge of your seat every week. Sometimes you're able to pull it off, but a lot of times, eventually, that catches up to you. But man, they've got a hell of a defense. They really do. They have a fantastic defense. So yesterday, I did watch the San Antonio game against OKC because that, it used to be that Christmas Day was all NBA. Poor Charles Barkley. He's pissed about that now. But San Antonio took a 3-0 lead on OKC this year. Did you watch that game? Would you watch football? Oh, you didn't watch anything? It was just like the football wasn't sexy. I couldn't stay watching it consistently. I'd watch it for a couple of minutes and then just go, oh my God, I got to get out. But I did watch from beginning to end San Antonio and OKC, and props to San Antonio. And again, it just how they've been able to rebuild their franchise, and we're watching the Heat here. And, I wish the Heat would sacrifice and actually rebuild the franchise the right way, instead of continuing trying to take the old shortcuts that used to work, but they don't work anymore, unfortunately. But, man, Fox and the boys and Castle and Wemby, and just ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. And how about SGA? Yesterday, he scored 22 points. Yesterday made it 102 straight games of 20 points or more. He's like he's only in territory with Will Chamberlain. That's some territory. Okay? That kid's he's a player, man. He's a player. He is a player, man. But impressive to see what San Antonio has done. And OKC doesn't look like they have an answer for San Antonio. Okay. And by the way, this is also why I tell you, and when I did the interview this week with Ira, our Winderman from the Sun Sentinel, who joins us every week, and I told Ira that's why I don't want the Giannis trade. It's a stupid trade. The Heat are just trying to, make a trade so they can be somewhat relevant in the East, because you will be relevant in the East, but you're not winning anything because you have no shot at beating OKC, and you're definitely not beating San Antonio. So why would you make that move, tie yourself down to the cap, and a guy that is not going to age well, because his game doesn't age well. So it's just that's another thing that while I'm watching that game between San Antonio and OKC, it reminds me, Miami Heat, do the right thing, dude. For once and for all, tear it down all the way. Trade everyone that you can for first rounders. Bam, Tyler, Powell, Wiggins, whatever. Those guys can all go for first rounders because they can be six men for people and help good teams, but they are not the guys to get collectively that are going to be a championship caliber team, because none of them are stars. They're all really good role players, except one guy. One guy is not just a role player. One guy is a super role player, baby. So let's go. Move it. Move it. Move it. Move it. Move it. That's what you got to do. That's the other thing, to spin it locally. I'm watching that game and I'm like, Miami is light years away from this. And why? Because they keep doing it the wrong way. They used to know how to do it the right way, but the system changed, and now they refuse to change with the system. OKC's a monster because they lost for years and went into the lottery. San Antonio's a monster because they lost for years and they went into the lottery. Detroit's really good now because they lost for years and went into the lottery. And you go into the lottery for a few years and you pick a couple of players and you start to build yourself back up again. And that's what you're watching. You're watching a lot of teams in the league that have actually elevated themselves because they suffered for a stretch. They were able to pick up some young pieces, Houston, and then look at them now. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is you get old. We all get old. And we want to do things the way we normally did, but there are other ways of doing things, and they become more efficient. And if you don't change with the times, you fall behind. And that's what's happening to the Miami Heat. And they refuse. They refuse. Nobody's trading you Luka. Okay? If that can happen, that some stupid team wants to unload it, like the Lakers got a gift. Okay, if we're going to wait for that, you know what? I waited for that too on Saturday. Did you play the Powerball? I played the Powerball on Saturday. I waited for a gift. The Lakers want a Powerball. I mean, if that's what we're waiting for, Miami Heat, okay, well then wait for your Powerball. But if you want to do it the right way, check out some of the teams that are on top right now. They paid the price. The problem is that Mickey Harrison, the billionaire, he has his frugal ways. And so they want to always be good enough to tease you, to keep you going to the arena and all that, but they don't want to tear it down because they're afraid they will become irrelevant for a bit. And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people will be excited because if you're smart, you understand that this is the way you go to get back to being great again. But, Miami Heat, Pat, Mickey, you guys want to keep running your heads into the wall. You go ahead, baby. You go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead and do that. That's it's really going to get you far with this team. By the way, they're 3-point dogs against the Hawks tonight. Okay. You know, that team that they now share the play-in area with now? 2-9 in their last 11 games. That's all you need to know, folks. That's all you need to know. Anyway. All right. I was watching that last night, and I'm like, wow, we are that's the thing. That's why you should have watched, Sean, just so you can painfully see how behind we are here in Miami, dude. When you watch San Antonio play, dude, you're like, oh shit, dude.
I wish I would have got long enough to sit down to.
No, yeah. You told me your schedule yesterday. You forget about it, dude. Forget about it. You had no chance.
I'll catch up on the recaps.
You had no chance. But man, that's really what I got from yesterday. And by the way, just to kind of continue in this, to finish it off, here's the other story that I saw. Charles Barkley's all pissed. And, you know, I kind of laugh at this. I have to laugh at this because Charles being pissed that the NFL is now bleeding into Christmas. And he was like, well, you know, this used to be always our day, and calls the NFL and Roger Goodell greedy and all that kind of stuff. So he goes, the NFL got greedy and started adding Christmas games. We used to have this day to ourselves. But Roger Goodell and them pigs at the NFL always want to hog every day of the week now. Barkley told the Inside the NBA guys, Christmas is an NBA day. Okay. Charles, just want you to know, my brother, I respect you trying to defend your sport, but maybe you might want to tell your players, how about no load management? They don't do that in football. They got 17 games. They got to play them all out. Their money isn't all guaranteed. They got to play for next year's salary. They got to play for next year's roster spots. So they got to play hard, and they got to play every week. But in the NBA, they don't take the regular season serious. Players take days off. You know what I mean? Hell, I've seen them even take a Christmas day off in the past. So, I mean, Charles, you know, if the league, its players don't take the regular season serious, like we had a guy here that did not take the regular season serious at all. He would go to tennis tournaments and then not go to the game the next day. So, and this is all over the league. So if you have that, the NBA itself and the players don't take the regular season serious, and by the way, Americans in general don't take the NBA serious till after the holidays, till after football is done. In February is when they start to pick up interest in the NBA. What can we do about that? So if it used to be like what I used to watch in the 80s or the 90s, where they actually played hard, you know, like Michael, go look at Michael Jordan's career stats. 82 games, 82 games, 82 games, 81, 80, 79, 81, 82. Go look at it. Go look at him with the Wizards. The maniac played all the games with the Wizards. And he was old. But back then, you used to play the games. Back then, it was respected. Back then, you wanted to lay it on the line in November and in January. It was a game. And then all of a sudden, the NBA morphed into a league that they want to coast during the regular season at times. And this is what you've asked for, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? And so the NBA isn't taken seriously anymore because the players don't take it serious. Well, guess what? The NFL sure as hell is serious, Charles, in December. Yeah, Bubba. Playoff positions are on the line. Jobs are on the line. Coaches are going to get fired. Players are going to get cut or traded. December's got a lot of drama. There's a lot to it. So now you add football to it. And I don't blame them. I really don't. And I also commend them. You know why? It gives people options. Because sometimes the NBA games aren't going to be sexy either. And if players want to rest or they're hurt or whatever it is, it ruins the game. And it's happened many, many times. So the NBA itself has brought this on themselves. If the NBA was how it used to be, where the players actually respected the regular season and played their asses off, then I think the NFL maybe wouldn't have messed with it. But you have a weakness, and the NFL is going to take advantage of it. And there it is. So whine all you want, but blame your compatriots. They have created the malaise that the NBA season has, especially in the early part of the regular season. That's my 2 cents, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Don't forget, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can send a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. You see we got some super chats here. Gus1388 says, morning at QAM, went orgasmo this morning at the possibility of having Lamar Jackson hilarious to Miami. Is hilarious to Miami. Another mental masturbation session. We'll get into that now, Gus. True Fin fan, he says, we owe 99 to Tua, but bring Lamar. Clueless. Thank you guys for the super chats. And the headline says it there. Lamar Jackson, at this point in time, look, first of all, I'm not a big fan of that offense as it is. It's a running offense. If you stop the run game, you stop Lamar 99% of the time. He can't make a living from the pocket. So as he gets older, he can't run as much. And as you notice now, he hasn't been running as much. And he runs very little, and he got injured while running. Okay, so you're now going to trade for an aging running quarterback. Do you know how stupid that sounds? That is as moronic as it gets. The talk of trading for Lamar Jackson would be so Dolphins. That's what it would be. You know, listen, when he's coming out of Louisville and you want to try it, I disagree with it, but you could try it. And God bless John Harbaugh and the Ravens, because they truly committed to the kid and his style of play. Okay? But unfortunately, the part that didn't develop from Lamar's game is that he has to run in order to survive. He cannot just live in the pocket. He can make some passes from the pocket. Of course he can. But he can't do it on a consistent basis because he's not consistent. He's not accurate enough in order to do that because he's not a pure pocket passer. Mahomes can run, and then he doesn't have to run. He can live the entire game behind the pocket. Jaden Daniels, he'll run if he has to run, but if you keep him in the pocket, he'll burn you from the pocket, and he'll throw the entire game from the pocket. That's not what Lamar can do. That's not what Josh Allen can do. That Josh is a little better than Lamar in living in the pocket, but Josh still has to run. So running quarterbacks, in order for them to be effective, they have to run because they cannot make a living from the pocket. Jalen Hurts cannot make a living from the pocket. He must run. It's part of his game. Well, we're getting to a point in Lamar's age. He's taken a lot of hits. He's got a lot of mileage on it. It's going to get worse and worse and worse for Lamar Jackson. Eventually, it'll happen to Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's a mediocre passer as it is, and you see it at times when they're not running. Jalen isn't going to bail you out with his arm. He'll make a couple of throws. Of course he will. He's an athlete, but he's not a real quarterback. That's the difference. A real quarterback can say, okay, I'm going to make a living from the pocket, and I'm just going to burn you all the time. Short, intermediate, deep, whatever it is. I'm going to move the safety. I'm going to manipulate the pocket. I'm going to do everything that I have to do in order to survive. I'm going to have great ball handling skills, all those things. I'm going to be able to audible at the line because I know exactly what you're trying to do to me, and I'm going to opt out and get a better play. All what the things that real quarterbacks do, the mind games that they play, certain quarterbacks can't play that. Lamar can't play that. It's not who he is. Josh Allen can't play that. It's not who he is. Jalen Hurts is not like that. But Josh will survive a little bit more than the other two guys because he's bigger. But eventually, that'll run out too. But it's already running out for Lamar Jackson. It's already running out for, and he has a beast next to him. They've done everything they possibly can. They've given him tight ends. They've given him a line. They've given him a defense over the years. They've given him everything. Okay? And for those of you, what it seems like to me is that what's going on now is that maybe the Ravens, they're a smart organization, they realize when to get off the gravy train and move on. And maybe that's what's going on now. They're going to keep John Harbaugh. They're not keeping Lamar Jackson. So we'll see if there's suckers out there that want to take on that deal and give up a bunch of first rounders and whatever extra picks, and then you're going to also tie up a lot of money to a man that is no longer a young man anymore. He's got a lot of mileage, a lot of punishment on that body. Okay? And the only way he survives as a quarterback in this league is that he has to be able to run like the wind, like he has throughout his career. And you have not seen that anymore from him. So the Lamar Jackson move would be so Dolphins, so incredibly stupid, and all it would do is set this team back. And plus, you're going to have to commit to a certain style of offense that very few people in the league play. And unless you have the dominant D and offensive lines that the Philadelphia Eagles have, that's the only way you win with that kind of quarterback. The Ravens have really never gotten to the point where their lines were so, they've had really good offensive lines, some good defenses, but not Eagles level. The Eagles level is a sick level. Right now, they're kind of injured on the O-line, but overall, they're old. They're Lane Johnson on one end and Jalen Carter on the other side. That's like having, franchise quarterbacks is what those people are. That's what Lane Johnson is on the offensive line, and that's what Jalen Carter is on the D-line. It's like having a Jason Taylor. It's, that it's one of those elite, sick-ass players that, like when Teron Armstead, even broken, but when he would play, the line was so much better, right? That's what Lane Johnson does. That's what Jalen Carter does. That's why they won, dude, because they were so dominant. And last time I checked, do the Dolphins have that? No, right? Oh, okay, right. And they're not going to get that in the next year, right, or two? While, Lamar's like heading into his 10th season at that time? Yeah, okay. This is stupid talk, is what it is. It's stupid talk. It's ridiculous. You don't buy something when it's on its decline. Okay? You buy it before it goes up. That's how investment goes. You don't buy something on the decline. And that's what Lamar Jackson is. He's on the decline. That's why the good organizations know when to get off the gravy train. And so if there's any truth to this story, and I know the columnist in the Baltimore Sun and all that has wrote, something about his immaturity and all. I don't know what's real. All I'm going to tell you is I see an aging player, a player whose style of football does not age well. And it's not aging well right now. So why would you want to get on that? Makes no sense. Stupid move to try to acquire Lamar Jackson. But it is the kind of stupid move that Stephen Ross would make. Okay? Definitely the kind of stupid buzz move that Stephen Ross would make. And then, unfortunately, there's a group of you, even in the media, that are on board with this crazy-ass idea. You know, can't do anything about that, dude. It is what it is. By the way, we're here at Acura Pembroke Pines. Got Larry Schlossberg right behind me here at Acura Pembroke Pines, 15601 Pines Boulevard. And they've always got some great deals going on right now. They've got the Season of Performance event going on. The ADX 2025 model, $239 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. The Integra 2025 model, $279 a month. What a beautiful vehicle that Integra is. 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, my wife drives it every day, $359 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. The TLX, $339 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. Acuras are built here in America, so you're going to save yourself a lot of money also at the same time. Come on down, check it out at 15601 Pines Boulevard. The lot is overflowing. They got a large selection, so you can pick any car you want, color you want, style you want, model you want, and more importantly, the price you want at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. What else do we have? Anthony says, wow, Lamar coming here, insane. Who's going to block for him if the Ravens O-line can't block for him? Let's see. Gift never came with the Powerball. Nope. Alexis, nope. No. How about with you? No? Oh, damn it. Some dude in Arkansas wanted it, or a woman or somebody in Arkansas. You know what it is to win $1.8 billion, bro? Whew. You know, I'm buying a large chunk of Bitcoin, right?
And they broke it down with like the lump sum. And I know it's nothing to bark at, but it comes out to like 375, I think, total that you end up clearing after everything.
After taxes,
after taxes,
375 million,
and also depends on what states too. Certain states take more, so
right.
But yeah, an average was 375 to 425, I think.
Was so 1.5 billion of it is gone
into that, into that much.
So 1.5 billion is gone in taxes and everything. You only get 300 and something.
Yeah, because you go up in
tax
brackets. So by the time you get everything, everything goes through.
Really? It's only that much?
That's what I'm going off an article that was written by somebody that's a lot smarter than me.
I think you lose like 40% of it or something like that.
You lose 40%, and then you got federal, state, and then there was some other thing that was a bracket thing.
All right. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Still, I'd take that as well, but I'm just saying.
You know. What are you going to do? It is what it is. Let's see. Dolphin Dave says there's no way you trade for a quarterback that is breaking down. Keep your draft picks. Miami can't afford him anyway, so stupid talk. It is. Jeff in Long Island says, Sharon bought me a big O hat for Christmas. Thank you, Orlando, for the extra gift. Everyone should buy something from the merchandise shop. So much to choose from. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you. And thank you, Sharon. Appreciate you. You guys are, you're special. I saw the name, so I made sure there was a little, when I know who are the people that really give a shit about this show over the years, that watch and like and whatever it is, they make themselves known. You know what I mean? And then I saw your name on the merch, and so I gave you a little something extra because it is what it is, man. You deserve it. That's all. And I appreciate you, man. Much love. Luis Notare. Happy Merry Christmas to you, sir. What else? NorCal. is in the house. NorCal's sending me tunes this morning. Good tunes, by the way, NorCal. Thank you. Thank you. Christopher says, good morning from the Cuse. If we're giving up number 1 picks, it better be to draft Mendoza. That's not going to happen either. Okay. I already explained that Mendoza stuff. Stop with that. That's stupid talk also. You're at the 10th, 11th, 12th pick, whatever it is. If the Giants are trading out of number 1, they're going to trade to a team that's at number 2 or 3 or 4 that needs a quarterback, which they all need quarterbacks. They're going to stay within the first couple of picks so they can get Bain, let's say. Like, they're probably going to want to move to 2. So that way they force that team to take the quarterback, and then they get Ruben Bain, and they're still going to get a bunch of picks. They're not going to go all the way down to 10 and miss out on the top tackle or miss out on the top defensive ends. They're not doing that. It's just so stupid that people would think about Mendoza. Now, if the NFL doesn't deem Mendoza number 1 worthy, and he's like the 7th or 10th pick in the draft, that's when Miami's going to have a shot at him. But if he's considered the number 1 pick and the Giants have the number 1 pick, they're not trading down to number 10, dumbasses. Like, how stupid can you be? Seriously. And I get it, man. You're desperate as a Dolphins fan. You haven't seen winning in forever. So you start thinking silly shit like this. It's stupid. It's just stupid. If the Giants are going to trade, they're going to get a boatload for their quarterback anyway. They're only going to move down a pick, 2 or 3 maybe. That's it. They're going to want to stay in that elite area so they can get the best players. That way they get a whole bunch of picks and they still get a stud player. They still get the best defensive end or the best offensive tackle available, and they still get all their picks because they didn't need the quarterback. That's it. You guys got to stop with this, man. Use logic. Like, all of a sudden, they're going to trade down to 10 just to accommodate you. What kind of stupidity is that? Like, some of you out there, I get it, man. You're dying to win, but, you know, it's crazy. And now the whole Lamar thing, that's just another load of stupidity, you know? So what are you going to do? It is what it is. What?
Furones is ready real quick,
Okay.
but Pat Nashville said that the payout was $700 million or so after taxes. So I put in my handy dandy notebook here. What would be the payout on $1.8 billion lottery jackpot? And it says the lump sum payment, you would receive approximately $520.7 million after all federal and state taxes.
Oh, but that's a lump sum. Yeah. Lump sum, they give you less than the $1.8 billion, and then you're also going to get taxed.
Yeah.
So that's why you end up with less. That's why, because you say you want the money up front. They don't give you the $1.8 billion.
Yeah, but you're still going to get taxed on the money you're going to get.
No, but
over 20 years or whatever it is. So.
No, but what I'm saying is they're not giving you 1.8. I don't know what it is, but it's less than 1.8.
Oh, it starts at 826.4.
There you go.
You had the advertisement jackpot of 1.8. This is the amount the annuity option paid over 30 years.
Right.
The lump sum would be 826.4. Federal tax is 24%.
That's why you only end up with like the 300 and some that you said.
Yeah, federal tax is 24%, which takes out 198.3. Then you get 37% federal tax. Florida, not one of the state taxes, so your take home would be 520.7.
Right. Yeah. Still pretty good. Still pretty good. Take the 300. Put 100 million in Bitcoin and let that thing 10x, and then you'll be fine. Just let it run. Let it run. Let it run. Let it run. It's all good. All right, let's get to it. The one and only David Furones with our Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. How you doing, my man? How you
I'm
feeling?
feeling good. Merry Christmas, Big O. I hope you had plenty of lechon at home and
Yep.
had a good time.
I had some lechon, but I had also like an epiphany. I kind of came to the conclusion that I'd rather have turkey than lechon moving forward.
Oh, but you just did that last month.
Yeah, exactly. And I told them, I don't even mind turkey on Christmas Day. Also, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that's where Christmas Eve. That is. That's where I'm at. It's like whatever. I don't know. I guess the lechon I guess was all right, but I was like, man, I really enjoyed turkey more than lechon overall, which is crazy for a Cuban to say that, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But it's yeah, man. But I do love it, Pavel. I really do. I gotta say. All right,
It's healthier for you, so.
yeah, it is healthier for you, but I just find it delicious. Or maybe the old lady just makes a delicious turkey or something. I don't know what it is. My daughter is going to take over next year, the cooking. Yes. It's time to pass the torch. The old lady's in her 80s, bro. It's like we got her this year. We go, hey, we're retiring your number this year. We're going to put it up in the rafters. Because next year, it's too much work for you. Enough already, and she's been doing it for decades. And it's like, you need to start relaxing and, you could help out a little bit and all that. But, there's actually a cook now that's ready to take over. So my daughter is more than prepared to take over, dude. She's a phenomenal cook.
So a transition year for the Alzagaries.
Yes.
After the dynasty.
After a dynasty there. Yeah, see, unlike the Dolphins, we know how to get off the gravy train at the right time. You know what I mean? So we're like retiring the old lady, and then we're elevating the new talent this coming season. So we've already groomed it. We did like the Green Bay Packers have done it.
Yeah.
Groom the talent, and then the talent is ready to become the starter now. And so that's it. She's moving in as the starter. All right, so. First of all, I got to ask you, are you on dope here also about the Lamar Jackson thing? Because to me, that's about the dumbest idea there is on the planet to go try to trade. Now, I don't even know if he's on the block or not, but if he gets on the block, like an aging running quarterback, that makes 0 sense to acquire an aging running quarterback. But have at it. Please make a case for it or against it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the block, let alone it would just take way too much for a team that, let's remember, has punted on a couple of recent drafts. So those are the top draft picks. Like if you had your 22 draft, if you had your 23 draft, those are the classes that would now be going into their prime by this time. Like how you do have Devon Achane out of one of those drafts, and then now you've built him up. He's a Pro Bowler in his third year. He's going to be up for a contract extension. Like you got him out of that, but that's basically what you got out of those 2 years. So you don't have that young talent from those seasons. You try to get back into it with the 24 draft, with this past draft in 25. So hoping to have some building blocks for the future through there, but. It's just for a roster that you went all in with all these high-priced veterans, and then you traded for a Tyreek Hill and you acquired Teron Armstead and Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey, and you made all these moves that you try to do when you're going all in, and you punted on a couple of drafts. Now you're in a position where you really have to stockpile your younger talent, and so the Dolphins would really be in no position to do that when they don't have like that core established yet, where you could argue, oh, we are a veteran quarterback away, and you need to really establish that over several drafts to build some kind of foundation.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and plus, this is a quarterback that has to go to a ready-made running organization. Pretty much, you have to make sure you have to change your offense. Because that's where I give John Harbaugh all the credit in the world. He dedicated himself completely to this offense, and it's the only way you can run it. And so you're going to have to change your ways too, because you're not necessarily going to be a pass-first offense with a complementary run. You're going to be a run-first offense where the pass is complementary. That's not really what this league is about right now.
Yeah, no, but it's something that I think Mike McDaniel needs to go to. He has had to go to it, and I think it kind of forced him in like the once Tyreek Hill went down, 4-game win streak, 5 of 6. It was a run based offense. So assuming now that's a whole other topic. Then if he does remain, but yeah, then he would have to be run first, which I think he would be able to make that shift. I remember he was still with San Francisco when they were trading to acquire the draft pick for a Trey Lance. So I think they had sort of a similar vision with the 49ers before that went to waste. But then Brock Purdy surfaced as the starting quarterback that could run their offense. So yeah, it would take a lot of a shift where it's run based first, and then incorporate some of the West Coast passing game elements into it. While it's it's outside zone, it's read option with the quarterback, all these elements mixed together. If you were to go down that road, but it's just.
But you're for or against this move if it was available.
No, because the Dolphins don't have the foundation established to just say, "Oh, we are a quarterback away." I think they need to start.
They're an owner. They're an owner. They're a front office. They're a head coach. They're a quarterback. They're an offensive line. They're a D line. They're so far away. It's not even. It's ridiculous how far away they are. They've got nothing. Nothing.
You have to really just start. I mean, this is why, like, once the season went awry, then it kind of just felt like, all right, the best thing to do is just start brand new. It's a whole new clean slate, which is what I always imagined would happen. But you can always rebuild with some of the pieces that you still have. So it's not so you don't have to complete. You could stick with a Devon Achane, Jalen Waddle. You got him on an extension, but one that for what wide receivers are making and the contracts that went out after you extended him, then yeah, it's a decent deal. So you can build around those pieces with a Patrick Paul as a left tackle.
Yeah, no, definitely. Savania is probably going to grow into it right now.
Let him grow, let him develop.
Yeah. Even Brewer, you got one more year on his contract, but you could probably extend that because shit, dude, he's a player, man. Keep him around. Those are guys, and so there are guys you can build on. It's just right now they don't have a great offensive line. They don't have a great defensive line. They don't have a great head coach. They don't have a great quarterback. They don't have a great front office. They don't have a great owner. They don't have anything that's great, and that's the problem right now. There's no way you can ever be a great team if nothing in your foundation is great. That's, it's tough, dude. It's really tough. You don't excel in any area, You have a couple of players, but no area do you really excel in, and you're so far away. I don't know why anybody would think that Lamar Jackson all by himself is going to change the fortunes of your team. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, now think about it. He hasn't been able to go all the way with the Ravens, who have, maybe some defenses have been up and down, but they've still had a foundation there on that side of the ball. Yeah, they've gotten him some weapons over some years. Sometimes it's not ideal, but still, he even there he hasn't been able to go all the way through a tough AFC and maybe an AFC that's shifting a little bit where there is an opening because it's not a Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going through every year at this point. So, there are some openings coming in the future in the AFC, especially this kind of feels like a transition year. With the Broncos and Patriots currently fighting for the number 1 seed. But it also kind of leaves you like, damn, the Patriots got right back up there that quickly.
When we think about Mike McDaniel, where do you stand now? What should Stephen Ross be doing?
See, all right. So the whole time I always thought if this season went awry, they go down together between Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel. So I was fully expecting it that Thursday, after that Thursday night game, the Friday morning, it turned out it was just Grier to go, which was interesting. And then also, I guess, his time was due. I know a lot of the fans were clamoring for him to be gone because of how many years, and it hadn't happened. But yeah, I was surprised that Mike McDaniel stayed to that point. Yeah, and when we talked about it post game, I'm coming from the mindset in.
Did we lose him there? Froze. He began a call. Okay. All right. Don't forget, folks, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo as we wait for the unfrozen Furones. Frozen Furones. Furones is unfrozen now? Okay.
I just kept talking. I saw it on my screen with the little circle going around, but I just kept talking. What was the last thing I said?
Oh, you were talking about McDaniel, that you thought that both of them should go, but now where are you waffling to now?
Yeah, once McDaniel didn't go midseason after that Thursday night game against the Ravens, when you had the mini bye, you had a little bit of extra time. Then yeah, where I'm coming from when we talked about it post game, in that could you see a scenario where McDaniel stays? It's kind of from the mindset of, I don't know if Stephen Ross is really thinking about these last 3 games as far as making an impact. Like I feel you should have your decision already made based off the whole previous sample size. So yeah, if you say, okay, well, the team showed something in the 4-game win streak. If I'm thinking like Stephen Ross, team showed something in the 4-game win streak that he can pivot from the way he was running his offense. He can maybe freed of Tua, that something could change, and without Tyreek, he could go to the run-based offense and has a foundation there. Then if he has his mind already made up, then I don't know how much he's really looking at meaningless games in the final 3 games of the season, where actually I think he'd probably prefer to lose so that the Dolphins improve their draft pick, as opposed to you got your 3rd-string quarterback in to see what you got for the future and really determine it off of those results.
Well, I'm hoping that the old man is actually using his brain and he's going to fire the coach. The question is, will he go the lazy route? Because I talked to somebody in the building 2 days ago, and basically it's like a scramble in there of trying to save your ass is what's going on in that building. And so right now, to me, I would have an organizational enema. But the man is 85 years old. Is he willing to turn over the franchise? Because I almost feel like they're going to go the lazy route and do something from within with this Champ Kelly guy, which is just, again, nobody's clamoring for Champ Kelly. Nobody was clamoring for Mike McDaniel. I don't know what the hell this old man is thinking, to be quite honest. And so when you start to look at it, you don't know what they're going to do. I know that. None of you guys on the beat right now know what they're going to do. None of us know what this old man's going to do. So what's your gut tell you that he's going to do?
Yeah, and it was probably telling that after you had Ian Rappaport before the Bengals game on Sunday morning coming out saying that, yeah, Mike McDaniel is safe and this and that. Then Monday, Adam Schefter's reporting on Pat McAfee show, well, it might not be entirely settled. So, I mean, even like at the top insider level, they are getting mixed messages. So it's really a huge question.
Or one guy's kissing the agent's ass and the other guy is, going with the league, because that's what we've got going on when it comes to the NFL and ESPN too. You know what I'm saying? Anybody on the NFL network is working for the league. I mean, it is what it is, dude,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, as Barry Jackson, my friend, always calls it, it's the league-owned network. And even my colleague Dave Hyde, when he asked McDaniel a question post-game, called it in the question, he called it the PR arm of the league. So, but yeah, I mean, that is what it is. But as far as the gut feeling, like, listen, Stephen Ross, as far as I feel like he likes to just be hands off with this thing. Like, he invests in it. It's his baby as far as that, he put the money into it, but do we really think that he wants to go through a GM search and a coach search at the same time when he's got all these other business interests in mind? I feel like he kind of just wants to let the Dolphins run itself. And so that's why I could see what you're saying is like what would you call it? The easiest path, or the path of least resistance,
right?
Of just, Okay, well, you know what? We like our head coach. He even when the times were tough early in the season, he pulled it back together, showed that he could still coach through adversity and lead a win streak when things look down. Go that route, and then as far as the GM, maybe survey how Champ Kelly try to forecast how he would work in a full-time role if the interim tag was shed from his GM label, and then they maybe analyze him, but probably open that up a little bit, and maybe he's one of the candidates. I would think that would be the reasonable route as far as the GM part of it, because I don't think you want to shut yourself out of viable candidates elsewhere. It's just also right now how much would top coaches and GM candidates really want this job? How desirable of a job would this really be leading the Dolphins right now? I feel like could be, it could be a better situation where you could attract a better candidate. Like if there's another year where it goes down in 2026, and then maybe if it's a team that's picking at the top of the draft, maybe you've got like another draft class that has some pieces that you could build around. You've got more draft picks or something, that could maybe be a more desirable job another year down the road, as opposed to right now. I don't think they would attract many when people look at the situation that Tua still has the $55 million guaranteed next year, and then the team has to make that decision on whether to take a $99 million cap hit of dead cap this year or spread it out over 2 seasons. Like, who wants to go into that? It would have to be just someone who is an up-and-comer who is just going to take any top GM or head coach role and try to prove himself that way from a grassroots level. But, like if a John Harbaugh came available from Baltimore, why would he want to come to Miami right now under this situation,
No, he's not going to come here. And there's many reasons why he wouldn't come here. But first of all, he knows that this is the same guy that went behind another coach's back to recruit his brother. And he knows that this is the same owner that went behind the GM's back and lost the team a first and a third rounder. And so, and every other GM knows. I mean, every other head coach knows this. So it's like, this is a guy that I can't trust this guy. I don't know what the hell he's going to do. So there's going to be other jobs available. Miami will not even be close to the first option for a lot of people because of Stephen Ross and what he's done, unfortunately, to be quite honest. I mean, what are you going to do?
Now, he shouldn't make too much of the whole Harbaugh pursuit, because the Harbaughs are someone that you cheat on your current head coach to try to get. You don't cheat on the Harbaughs to try to get someone else. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think he would have to worry too much about that, about his knowledge of what happened there.
I see. So you're a single guy, aren't you?
Yes.
You are. Okay. So when you meet a woman who happens to be married and she gets divorced to marry you, you're going to feel incredibly comfortable in your relationship moving forward, aren't you? I'm just saying.
I would not in that. No, I would not in that scenario.
I'm just wondering. So
we're talking about love, though. They were talking about real relationships.
Dude, I'm just telling you, relationships are relationships. It could be love. It could be business. It could be whatever. A traicionero is a traicionero. It does not matter. All right. So I'm just telling you, if Stephen Ross cannot be trusted. He just cannot, because he cannot help himself from doing stupid things on a consistent basis. He has done it throughout his existence, selling Jets paraphernalia in the Dolphin Pro Shop. That's who this guy is.
Well, I wasn't familiar with this one.
You didn't know that?
When did that happen?
Oh, God, years ago when he first bought the team, he had Jets paraphernalia being sold in the Dolphin store. There's pictures
at
of
the stadium.
At the stadium.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I missed that one back in
This is the guy that celebrated Tebow and the Gators.
That one I do remember. I was at UM when that was happening. So
with
I remember
UM as your, like this is a stupid individual. He doesn't get things. He might be smart in business, which he is, and in real estate, because look at that property. Of course he's smart. Get it. But on the football side, oh my God, this is a really dumb individual, dude. This guy does a lot of really dumb things, and he's done it over the years, and he continues to do things like this. So it's just, I don't know if this is the kind of owner that if you're a Harbaugh, if you're a young coach, an up-and-comer, you got to take whatever opportunity you can get. But if you're a John Harbaugh, you're going to have the pick of the litter, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. You know what I mean? So why would you come here with a guy you can't trust? That's because if things don't go well with you and you have a bad year or two, what's the old man going to do behind your back? You know what I mean? Is he going to cost you a first and a third, or is he going to go search for another coach? You have no idea. It's really an unknown with that guy. It's crazy. And so that's why I think he has hurt himself in this whole process too, when it comes to, other situations. And there's another thing that's going to be in play, but I'll talk about that later on the show. But it's just kind of weird, man. It really is. Anyway, what do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, so I'll get all the updates ahead of this Dolphins-Bucks game that we have on Sunday. As far as injuries, I imagine Minkah Fitzpatrick will be out, and just make sure that Aaron Brewer is good to go, because he has been listed as a DNP on the injury report, but that guy plays through anything, so we'll get the updates there. And I'm writing about Dante Trader as well. Since Minkah is probably out, then we saw him, the rookie safety out of Maryland, fifth-round pick, kind of play that versatile role where he could come in the nickel packages. We've seen him at deep safety, so kind of breaking down if he is someone that the Dolphins could lean on in the secondary in the future as a player back there who's cerebral and versatile, it seems like.
All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, have a terrific weekend. We will talk on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
You got it. There you go. David Furones. And, of course, our friends at Welton Rheaume, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. They do it all. Jeff and Dan have been at this for over 20 years. And I'm telling you, and the consultation's free. So if any of these situations are happening to you and you don't know what to do, call them, explain it. The consultation's free. They'll tell you if you have a case, and then they'll attack. And by the way, if you have any damage to your home, your condo, your business, never, ever call the insurance companies. I know that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're paying for the policy and the protection. No, you call Welton Rheaume. They send their own adjusters, and then they call your insurance company on your behalf. And trust me, they're going to get the insurance company's full attention. When a lawyer calls instead of us, they get their attention. When we call, they're laughing at us. Okay? I'm telling you, I've gone through the experience. I saw Jeff and Dan crush Progressive Insurance firsthand. Lots of our listeners over the last 6 years have called Welton Rheaume, and they've had a ton of success. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rheaume can help.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. All right, how you doing, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling good. Oh, how are you doing? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir. Feeling good? Got my new Oakleys, so I'm feeling
very
good.
Very nice. Very sweet.
Yes. I told them that I needed new Oakleys, and they've got to be Bitcoin inspired. They must have an orange.
There you go.
So there we go. So there we go. These are my Bitcoin inspired Oaks.
Beautiful.
Anyway, we got the game, baby. We're getting closer now, finally. Looking forward to it, man. They are, I saw 9.5 point underdog. Now it's gone to 7.5, and now back to 9.5. Over and under is 42. How are the boys feeling about this matchup?
I think there's a lot of confidence on Miami's side that they can do this. As good as Ohio State has been in defending national champions, you look at the two biggest games that they played into this point. They scored 14 points in the opener over Texas, and they scored 10 in the loss to Indiana. So this is an offense that can be slowed down. It's not like they're insurmountable because of Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and how good they are offensively. I think they can be stopped and they can be affected. Julian Sayin did not play a great game against Indiana, and I think if you put pressure on the quarterback like Indiana did, you can win this game.
How good does Carson Beck have to be in this game? Because I look at the defense you just played against Texas A&M. You're playing a better defense in Ohio State, and you didn't really put up a ton of points. And Carson Beck really was not the force that you would need in that kind of a situation. It was more the running game. I almost feel against Ohio State, the running game has to show up, maybe even be slightly better, because you have to use maybe the other guys also, not just Fletcher. And then the other, I think Carson Beck's going to have to make some plays against Ohio State. If you're going to beat Ohio State, then Carson Beck needs to make – I'm not saying he has to carry you, but he has to make an impact, is what I'm saying. That's all.
100%. No, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to the play calling. I think Shannon Dawson, kind of force fed the ball into Malachi Toney against Texas A&M. I think it
They were
backfired.
ready. They were
They
ready.
were ready for it. They knew it, and it kind of played into what Texas A&M wanted to do against Miami. That should have been Miami, in all honesty, should have won that game by 2 or 3 touchdowns with how well the defense played. And in the end, they kind of kept shooting themselves in the foot with some dumb play calling. And I thought, as long as the play calling is better and more balanced, you're right, they're going to need the running game. And they're going to need Carson Beck to play well. But I think as long as they do that, they'll have a chance to score a couple touchdowns and win this game against Ohio State. I think, the Buckeyes are phenomenal. This will be the best defense Miami has faced all season without question. And maybe it's the best defense in the country. I don't know. I think Miami's got an argument to be made there as well with how dominant their defensive line is. So, but I think you're right. This is going to come down to Carson Beck. When he has to make decisions about throwing the ball in the tight windows, does he take chances or does he check down and do the smart play and live for the next play? And I think that's what it's going to come down to, turnovers. Can Miami play smart for 4 quarters? And if Carson Beck does that, I think they can win the game.
I'm going to ask you the most unfair question of them all. No, because they don't tell you guys shit, and they can keep it away from you guys. What do we know about the injuries?
Yeah, obviously a couple guys got nicked up in that game. Zachariah Poyser was one that left with a shoulder injury, and it did not look good to me. Look, Mario said this week a lot of guys are getting healthier. And
is Muhammad Torrey in a concussion protocol?
I would assume he is. I would assume he has to be it. In fact,
that's what I mean. They don't even tell us that. Like, we don't even know. Yeah. We don't know shit. Like,
there's 100% chance of that. Yeah, for sure. But you know what? The best thing for him is there's 10 days between games. So it's a matter of,
I know. And he's young.
And and who knows if this is just the first one that he's had. And so we'll see. The injury report, I think, comes out 3 days before kickoff. So we should probably find out on Sunday night, right. Maybe. Or maybe it's Monday, maybe it's 48 hours. But either way, you'll see an initial list of who's on there, and that's when you'll start to get real answers.
The beauty, Manny, is they're now playing with house money. Let's be honest, okay? Mm-hmm. They were supposed to either win the ACC, and get into the playoffs automatically. That would have been a successful season in itself. Win a bowl game would have been a successful season. Now you want a playoff game, and you want a hostile one on the road at Texas A&M, which gives you a little extra bonus points. So your season is successful already. That's it. This is a pinnacle that they've never been to. So now you're playing with house money. All right, so if you beat Ohio State, amazing. If you don't, you're not expected to beat them. So that's, it is what it is. But, dude, if they win, then all of a sudden you have a shot at a national championship. Because if you can beat Ohio State, you can beat whoever's left, dude. You know what I mean? Now, of course, it's not automatic, but isn't it crazy that where you're at right now, that if you lose, you're not going to – an educated Canes fan is going to say, okay, dude, hey, man, he maxed out the team. He did great this year. He's not supposed – we didn't have them beating Ohio State this year. But if they do, amazing. But if you don't, I think we'll be all right with it, as long as it's not an embarrassing 50-3 loss or something like that. But if it's a respectable loss – but it's funny that people, I think, on average, can live with a respectable performance in a loss to Ohio State. But if you win, it gets crazy because you legitimately have a shot to win it all.
I think you can say this pretty safely without anybody really being able to retort. Miami has one of the best offensive and defensive lines in the country. And if you have that, you can win anything. Right. And if those guys play at an extremely high level, you can win anything. And I think what we learned is that Mario has them as a legitimate contender. They are legitimate contenders. This is not a joke. This isn't what we used to talk about before of maybe they can get there. No, they just went and won at a place with 104,000 people against an 11-1 SEC team that probably, if they don't stub their toe against Texas, probably wins the SEC or at least gets the SEC championship game. So it's not, there's nothing fake about this anymore. This is real now.
I'll give you an example. This is why I tell, like you got the silly Dolphin fans, because, Dolphin fans are so desperate for stuff. They come up with silly shit. And the latest one is, oh, we'll trade with the Giants for Mendoza. And I'm like, hey, morons, you're at 10. The Giants are at 1. They're not trading down in the draft to go to 10. They're going to trade down to go to 2 or 3 that needs a quarterback because they're going to stay for Ruben Bain, asshole. Even if they don't need the quarterback at 1, they're going to trade down to 2 or 3 so they can lock themselves in for Bain or the top offensive tackle or whatever right there. They're not going to go all the way down to 10. I mean, you know how the thing is real for Miami? Ruben Bain is like the number 2 draft pick right now behind the quarterback, right? Okay.
Yep.
You know who's number 8? Akeem Mesidor is number 8. Okay.
and where's Maui Noah? Is it Maui Noah up there somewhere?
Yeah, well, he's a little bit after, but still, I mean, inside the top 8, UM has 2 players. That's how you know it's real already. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know that the U is starting to, get that style back, because when they were great, every draft had a bunch of U players at the top of the draft. And right now, you've got 2 U players. And I'm trying to explain to Dolphin fans that the Giants aren't going to move from 1 to 10, dumbass. That's just not the way it goes. They're going to stay right there with the elite players so they could get the 2nd or the 3rd best player, and they still get a boatload of picks for whoever wants Mendoza if they want Mendoza. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm telling you, to back up your point, that what Mario's doing is becoming more and more real, because you can tell already in the draft where the NFL says, yeah, 2 of your players are 2 of the 8 best players in the draft right now.
Yeah, and you know what? There's other guys like Keontae Scott, who's probably made himself a lot of money, right? Being one of the best nickel corners, if not the best nickel corner in college football. I mean, that value at the next level. Jacoby Thomas has come in and probably made himself some money as a legitimate, safety at the next level. So that's what it takes. And they're there. And so this is real. And that's win or lose against Ohio State. Like you said, I mean, Ohio State can win the national title. You can say Miami can win the national title.
Yes. If they beat Ohio State, then yes, they can win the national title. Yes, they can. Because none of us had them beating Ohio State at the beginning of the year. All we wanted was, win the ACC. Yeah, win the ACC, get in the playoffs, and then that's it. Now you won your playoff game. That's phenomenal. You've had a successful season, which is great. You made up for not winning the ACC right now, which is what you did, which is great. I'm good with that. But man, it is truly amazing. By the way, the folks at Caneswear, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. Get ready for that game against Texas A&M. If you're going to the bar, if you're hanging out with your friends and family members at home, if you're traveling, you want to sport the colors. I just bought myself some Cane sneakers. They got all kinds of great hats, shirts, jerseys, you name it. They've got Heat, Marlins, Panthers, and Miami Dolphins gear also there at Caneswear, 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Go see Brett and Jeff and Jack and Ken Graff and all the great people out there. They'll take care of you at caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
You know, Manny, recruiting has obviously gotten a lot better with Mario Cristobal here. He has taken it to another level, as we just talked about in the NFL draft. Right now, 2 of the top 8 players are Miami Hurricane players in Bain and Mesidor, right? Well, the great Gordon Gekko in Wall Street once said, greed is good. And I got to tell you, the Canes win against Texas A&M. That all of a sudden you got into the playoffs and you won a playoff game, something they haven't done, won a big game in over 20 years. That's going to improve your recruiting. If somehow or another you beat Ohio State next week, recruiting is going to get absolutely out of control. It's going to look like a Black Friday sale when they're all lined up outside Best Buy to get the latest PSP or whatever the hell those things are called. All of a sudden, that's what it's going to look like. Recruits are going to be lined up outside Coral Gables to walk in and sign up with Mario.
It's happening right now. Oh, it really is. You look at the 2027 recruiting class, there are two guys that are 5-star recruits. One from Georgia, the other one from here in South Florida. Mark Matthews, a huge offensive tackle from St. Thomas Aquinas High School, best offensive tackle in the 27 class, already lined up potentially to commit to Miami here in the next few weeks. David Jacobs, 5-star, 6'6", 225-pound edge rusher from Blessed Trinity Catholic in Roswell, Georgia. Another guy with Miami, super high up on his board, 5-star guy.
And they joined Jackson, who's a 5-star from the
Cantwell.
Cantwell, right? Wow.
Correct. So
the
everything.
The wall of Montezuma is coming.
It's crazy, but this was Mario's
what Tua
vision,
needed,
right?
by the way, for the Dolphins. What Tua needed for the Dolphins, actually. But we digress. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's just lining up exactly the way Mario planned. It really is. This is how he envisioned it, right? You build, proof of concept, NFL draft, and now you just reload over and over and over again. And that's the position that Miami is in now because of the success that they had at the end of the season to sneak into the playoff, to go and win a road game at an SEC power like Texas A&M, who was 11-1. And to do it with your offensive line and defensive line playing at an extremely high level, that there's nothing better than that to prove to recruits where you're going.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so Mario's been on a roll. He got Cam Ward, and now he got Carson Beck. So we're becoming like back to quarterback you again. So
Right.
You tell me what is the quarterback we're gonna chase in this offseason out there? Who's the best guy that Miami should go to fit the bill?
Well, first of all, there is a nice field of starting quarterbacks that have entered or announced their intentions to enter the transfer portal. There are guys that are proven winners. They're proven experienced starters, guys that are going to be very, very good fits, I think, at their next destination. And if you look at the Heisman Trophy winners for the last few years, a lot of those guys are transfer quarterbacks who cashed in, right, as upperclassmen, went to a better place, excelled. Certainly Fernando Mendoza is the latest example of that. Miami has their sights set on a couple guys, but I think the number one option is going to be Sam Levitt from Arizona State, who's number 2 on the Athletics quarterback transfer portal rankings. The number 1 guy is Brendan Sorsby, who is leaving Cincinnati. He's an NFL-type talent, 6'3", big arm. Looks like he's probably headed to Texas Tech if he doesn't go pro. And that's, in large part because his girlfriend, again, his volleyball player, and she transferred from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. So everybody's connecting the dots and saying, well, if Sorsby's still in college, he will be probably taking his talents to Texas Tech, who, by the way, won the Big 12, right? It's not like he's picking some scrub school. They're spending millions. So if you lose Sorsby, you're to Texas Tech.
They got all that Zach Thomas money now.
They do. They got all that. They're finally investing. I mean, they even got some Patrick Mahomes money, right? He's giving back to that school.
Maybe Larry Izzo also is throwing in some money in there. Right? Isn't Larry Izzo from Texas Tech also? I don't know. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think Levitt is the next best guy. Now the problem is he does have an injury, right? He's dealing with a Liz Frank foot injury that he injured this season, which cost him the rest of the season. But he is a much more mobile quarterback than a lot of the other guys that are available. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He is a gunslinger. Has not had much in the way of pass protection. Kind of reminds me of Cam Ward in the sense that he can buy time in the pocket. And Miami's offensive line, as we've already discussed, is losing Francis Mauigoa. They're going to be losing some guys to the NFL here. You'll have a younger offensive line. I think Levitt is the best fit. I think that's the guy Miami wants.
And he's from Rice, not from Texas Tech. Okay. Anyway, okay, all right. Is the Iowa State kid an option also? I think he might go back now that his coach signed, but I don't know. You know more than I do about this stuff.
Yeah, obviously, Penn State hired away Matt Campbell. I mean, we've had more than 30 coaching changes. And there's going to be 31 because Michigan still needs to hire a head coach. It might be Kyle Whittingham, who is at Utah. That's the latest information. But Becht is in a position where he can go to Penn State and basically be the guy there at a Big Ten school. Now, not that the Big 12 is a bad conference or anything like that, because it obviously isn't. The guy's had a tremendous amount of success at Iowa State, but I think it's just a matter of which coach does he really want to go with, right? And I think more, if he goes anywhere, it's probably Penn State, and that's the case for a lot of these guys. Like Drew Mestemaker, by the way, is probably the best overall prospect of them all. The kid from North Texas who started as a redshirt freshman, has a huge arm. His coach at North Texas just got hired at Oklahoma State. Okay, it's the same coach who worked with Cam Ward. So obviously this guy knows how to pick him out, Eric Morris. And Mestemaker, could be somebody that Oregon throws money at or some other schools throw money at to go. But he is the top guy in terms of, I think, size, arm strength, all the potential. Some other guys to mention, Josh Hoover from TCU, super experienced starter, ton of wins. He left TCU. He's probably headed to Indiana. That's what everybody's thinking, is he'll go there and replace Mendoza. So, again, a good quarterback market. Is it a great quarterback market? Not necessarily, but it's a very good quarterback market, and I think Miami will do well.
If you have great offensive lines and D lines and you give them playmakers, you don't necessarily need a great quarterback. You just need a great game manager that can get them the ball. I think that's what Mario's trying to build. He's trying to build what Steve Walsh and what Ken Dorsey can do, that they don't have to be super talented and carry you. Dude, just get the ball to the playmakers, be smart, don't turn over the ball. You don't necessarily need an elite quarterback overall in college football if you do what the Canes used to do back in the day and you go back. And I think that's what Mario's trying to do. He's trying to have so much talent out there. Let's be honest, dude. Carson Beck's good. He's not elite.
No.
Not elite.
Well, so how many national championship winning teams always have the number one quarterback? That's hardly happens.
Right. So make the guy's life easy is what I'm saying. Don't make it where he has to carry you. Then you need an athlete. Then you need somebody to make some magic happen and all that kind of stuff. I don't think you need that, because Ken Dorsey and Steve Walsh weren't guys that they were never going to win you any games with athleticism at all, but they were going to beat you every single time right here, dude. Here. They were going to beat you every single time because they had all the chess pieces, and that's all they had to do was play the board game. That's all, dude. Yep. Play the board game, and you'll be fine. I think that's what Mario's trying to do. So who are the other players they should target in the portal?
Yeah, this isn't going to be like I think the last few years where Miami went out and signed, probably 15 to 20 transfer portal guys. I think
choose now, right?
You can pick and choose because you've done so well in the recruiting trail that these guys have been sitting on the bench for 2 years.
Right.
I was on the field, though. I don't know if you've really gotten a good look at the size of the guys sitting on the bench for Miami. Okay, just the bodies. But, I mean, these guys are like towering over Jason Taylor. Like it's ridiculous. Like Jason still looks great, but you see these dudes in pads and they're right there with him or taller. And you're just like, holy cow. I mean, they make Alex Mirabal look. I mean, there's times you can't even see Alex Mirabal. You know what I'm saying? So
he's not very big as it is,
Well, I know, but it becomes almost like a comedy show. Like, holy cow, these dudes are just aliens. Like they're just and the thing is, it's not just the starters, right? It's not just the frontline dudes. It's the dudes waiting on the bench. So to me, you look at this team and you say, well, what do they need? I think number one, they got to probably go out and get another receiver, right? Because you're losing CJ Daniels, you're losing Keelan Marion, you're losing that veteran guy. Malachi Tony is back, but you need somebody who can come in and sort of fill that veteran role again.
Take some pressure off, man. Take some pressure. You can't have what you had in the Texas A&M game where you're targeting one guy and they're all over that one guy, bro. They were ready for Malachi, dude.
Yes.
They were so ready. And Ohio State is going to do the same thing.
Yes.
Same thing.
Omarion Miller from Colorado is a good option, and Nick Marsh from Michigan State. Those two guys are the two best receivers, I think, in the portal right now in terms of production. They didn't just we're not talking potential anymore. We're talking about did it, right? Like they did it at their school. Those are two guys. I think edge rusher, you don't necessarily need a stud, but it doesn't hurt to take a veteran. It doesn't hurt to take a guy who has produced, that can start with these guys or play with them and help contribute to the room, right? As these guys are moving in, especially injuries happen. You need somebody to fill a role. I think Adam Trick from Miami of Ohio, super underrated MAC guy. I think he's going to make a lot of money. Somebody's going to pay him a lot of money to come in and be a big-time contributor. Another name to know on the edge, Tyler Thompson from North Carolina. Productive, younger player, but he played a lot for Bill Belichick this past season. His top edge rusher available in the portal. And then D tackle, Miami always seems to do a good job going out and finding that veteran D tackle. David Blay was the guy this year. And there's a couple names to know. I like Santana Hopper from Tulane. Tulane, of course, made the playoffs. Solid team. And then another name to know, in-state, John Walker from UCF, 4-star guy from a couple years ago. He's played a lot for UCF. Big-bodied guy. And then I think probably one more DB. Boo Carter from Tennessee is out there. I like Edwin Joseph, South Florida native, played a lot for Florida State this year. Kind of guy who can come in and contribute at different spots on the field. So
I just want a guy on the team named Boo Carter. I just want that. I forget about it, bro. I just want that right there. That's it. The play made by Boo Carter. I mean, Joe Zagacki is going to have a fun time with that one. That'll be good. That'll be good.
Yes. Yes. Like those are all early looks at guys in the portal. And there's going to be more that enter here. And there's been a lot. There's a lot of guys leaving Texas right now. I'm very interested to see what happens with Texas. I mean, their whole running back room is basically entered the portal here. So there will be more names of guys looking to cash in and get raises. So we'll see. But I think Miami's in a great position to sort of just pick off from the crust and take the best guys.
Well, speaking of crust, just a side question here in college football. Hey, you can start laughing. It's going to be more on the lighter side here. The word is Kyle Whittingham could be on the Michigan radar. Now,
yes.
I'm just asking here. Just asking. Okay. He's 66 years old. Did they look at, hey, let's try to find a coach that's too old to bang assistants? And then they came up with Kyle Whittingham at 66. Forget about it. There aren't enough pills in the world, right? So I'm just wondering, was that the requirement, the main requirement there for Michigan? They said, let's go find an old guy. Old guys won't bang their assistants, and then we'll be all right. Is that what's going on there in Michigan? I'm just wondering.
I was going to tell you, Bill Belichick would like a word. I mean, there are some old guys out there.
That's not an assistant. That's not an assistant. You know what I mean? That's that's something a little different there. And plus that happened post Patriots, and then it happened pre UNC. Like you knew what you were getting into. Shayna. They bought the tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. That's it's kind of like this.
Yes.
But on the Kyle Whittingham side, they're like, well, we hired a young head coach, and all he did was bang our assistants. We'll get an older guy that's focused on football and not on women or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out. You got a comment there, Sean? You want to add? Go ahead, ask him. Go ahead. Because mine's not serious.
No. Yeah, I was hoping to get mine in before yours because the Mark Fletcher coming back next year, was that a surprise or was that something that was actually discussed? Because I think a lot of people had him leaving.
I think the problem is you look at what just happened to Damian Martinez last year, right? Runs for 1,000 yards, is an integral part of the offense, big body, just like Mark, goes in the 7th round. I just think Mark has an opportunity here to make a lot more money as a senior leading this team than he does going in the 7th round to some,
Or even in the 3rd or 4th round, he's not going to make more money than he is next year.
Yeah. And that's what's starting to happen now in college, those guys are starting to become competitive with the NFL in the sense of better to come back for one more year than it is to go, be a day 3 pick.
I don't blame him. All right, what do you got going on the Athletic so folks can check you out?
Well, if you want to know where all the quarterbacks are landing, I already did all the work. I sort of projected all starting quarterbacks for next season at the Power 4 level. You can go in there and rip me like the rest of the fans did for being wrong or saying I'm going to be wrong. You can check out that story. Obviously, you got the playoff game in a few days over in Dallas, Texas. I'm sure I'll be writing another piece previewing that game. I have a podcast that I did with Carlos Ledo, the Wide Right Pod you guys can listen to, where we talk a little bit about that game and where Miami is a program. So a lot more content on theathletic.com and with my podcast, Wide Right.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and make sure you subscribe to The Athletic. Manny, as always, appreciate your time, my brother. Thank you so much.
Anytime, Mo. Good talking to you.
You got it. And visit our friends at BigCheeseMiami.com, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. The place is an institution. It's been around for 40 years. And you walk in, it's kind of like a Hall of Fame because the walls are filled with all kinds of memories, pictures, autographs over the last 40 years of Canes football. And this started with Billy and Gary over 40 years ago. And it has turned into what it is, man. It is a South Florida institution. BigCheeseMiami.com, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. The pasta's all shipped from Italy, cooked fresh daily. They serve family servings. Not like these restaurants nowadays that they keep giving you less and charging you more. That's not how it goes at the Big Cheese. They serve you a lot. You'll be taking some home. And those garlic rolls are to die for. BigCheeseMiami.com.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
All right, we are back here, of course, at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, 15601 Pines Boulevard. And, of course, the great Larry Schllober, kind enough to join us now here on the show. How you feeling?
Hey, I feel great. I think it's going to be hard to follow the Big Cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what gets bigger than that?
Nothing gets bigger than the Big Cheese, except the Big Cheeses that the University of Miami signs.
Okay.
As recruits, because that's what that segment's all about. Big cheeses that are signing here. And you can be a big cheese for not a lot here. Craig Zinn's Acura.
Drive like a big cheese.
Right.
Like you paid all the cheese for not a lot of cheese.
For not a lot of cheese. And you got some ridiculous lease prices right now and all that. So let me ask you personally, what have you been doing lately? Have you rocked out to anything? Because I got to tell you, I've got a killer week set up for myself in May. All right, listen to this. So in May, I'm going to go see Journey in Jacksonville on May 16th because they're not coming here. Plus, I'm going to meet a friend up there at the same time, a couple friends, and then I'm flying to LA. I'm going to see Echo and the Bunnymen at the Greek Theater. The next day, I'm going to see them again in San Diego. Then I'm going to go over to Vegas. I'm going to see Santana at the House of Blues. Then I'm going to see No Doubt at the Sphere the next day. And then I'll fly out on the 22nd. And then I'm going to see Triumph here in Tampa Bay on the 24th.
Wow.
When they're coming.
Not only that sounds pretty cool, it sounds pretty eclectic.
Yes, yeah. The
like
range.
all over the place.
Yeah, the range. Well, that's who I am. I mean, metal's my heart and soul, but I do like other genres of music.
Yeah, of course, all great bands that have done great things. I saw Creed the other day or Saturday night at the
I regret not going to that.
What a show, man. I mean, I never saw them. I know they had those big years.
And Seven Dust opened up.
Seven Dust, another great band that I'm familiar with, but never saw him live. And singer, incredible. I forget the guy's name, but the drummer, Morgan Rose, He stole the show, man. The guy's a monster.
Yeah.
The guy is a monster. And then Creed, Scott Stapp in great shape, sang. It was a great show. They got great songs. It's powerful. Mark Tremonti on the guitar.
He's so good.
Such a fat sound.
He's just an enormous talent.
Yeah,
period.
For sure. Songwriting, his style, great attitude. They look like they were having the time of their life. I know it was the last night of the tour, coming into the Christmas. So yeah, it was a great show. Really great show.
And he's got great range, Tremonti, man. I think he's just one of the most talented guitarists on the planet right now.
For sure. The songwriting is great. They do great stuff, and it's a really, really powerful show. So that was a lot of fun. That was great, to finish the year as far as live music for me. But you mentioned Santana. I'm going to see him there at the Hard Rock too.
Yes.
Coming. I got tickets for that. So
that
should be fun. I haven't seen Santana in a long time.
That never gets old, dude.
Yeah.
That never gets old.
He's getting up there. So
I know. But it's one of the things that when musicians, when they've arrived, is when you know who it is without even looking at them. All you got to do is hear a note or two right away. And that's where not only the music and who's had more hits with different voices than Santana?
Oh, yeah.
No one. In the history of music, no one has ever done what Santana has done.
You're right.
It's ridiculous how many different hits he's had with how many different singers.
The 60s, 70s, 80s,
90s,
2000s. This is like 7 decades of music.
Yes, it's ridiculous. It's, he'll pull out Michelle Branch and give her the biggest hit of her damn life.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's just stupid what that man does. And then not only did you do something that nobody's done with all those singers, but then you have a sound that is so unique.
Yeah, identifiable. You hear that, it's him.
It's him right away. And not everybody can achieve that.
No,
that's
for sure.
Only a few achieve that. When you do, it's just like, okay, you have reached that pinnacle. And Santana, I can't wait to see him too at the House of Blues.
House of Blues would be cool.
Yeah, the House of Blues is always cool because it's not a big place.
Right.
I was like getting the floor at the Vegas House of Blues because it's it's such a small venue.
Great
when
place.
when you go up in Orlando, whenever there's a band that I love in Orlando at the House of Blues, I'm off, dude. I'm off. I'm driving there right away and going to go see them because it's such an intimate place.
Yeah. It's a unique experience.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's the best way to always see an act is if you can get as close as you can, because I'm the sicko that likes to appreciate. Okay, whoa, he's playing a 5-string bass right now. Okay, no, he's
I love checking out the equipment and what they're doing.
Yeah. It's like
the mechanics of the show.
The mechanics of the show. I love the mechanics of the show because you get to understand a little bit more about what they're doing because it's so damn hard what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good. How about for you? When are you jamming next?
The Doors Alive, we kind of wrapped up for 2025 but we're still alive and we're going to restart the engine come January of 26. Got a bunch of shows lined up and planned and to be announced some big events that we're going to be doing this year. But doorsaliveflorida.com is where you can find out all the information about the band, upcoming events and shows and things we're going to be doing. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great year. 2026. I'm excited.
So if you're a Doors fan, you will love the band. They do a great job. And Larry jams, dude. He shreds there on Doors Alive. So you got to check him out too there. And of course, here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, we got all kinds of deals going on right now. So the sales event going on right now.
It's incredible what's happening. I mean, it is the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes, it is.
And we got 6 days left to make it all make sense mathematically, which is, again, it's the best time for the consumer to take advantage of that equation because
last 6 days, folks, they desperately want to move these
cars. We got to get the cars out of here so they can send us more. So the factory is big on that. The manufacturer just wants to build stuff. And so if we don't sell what they already sold us, we're not going to take more. So it's a supply and demand equation where now it's a buyer's market.
Yes.
The supply is here. The demand is here. The incentives are here. And everybody's on board and ready to go to make dreams come true and start out 2026 in a new ride. I think it's the best time to do it.
That ADX, which is one of the newer models, it's a sharp look. You have it at $239 a month, dude.
Yeah, the lease payments with
stupid.
With the discounts we're able to provide, with the loyalty and conquest rebates they have available, it's almost about anything you're driving, you get a rebate for something. And then the factory on top of that's giving us additional incentive to try to make the payments make sense to all the customers. So great time to go get one. Come on down.
The Integra, $279 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, $359 a month. My wife is going into year 16 of it. So they're reliable, they're durable, efficient. I don't know what else you want from a car. The TLX, $339, and then that TLX Sport Package one.
Yeah, the A-Specs, beautiful car.
Jesus,
and that new urban gray color with the black wheels. You know, it's definitely a showstopper.
So come on out, take a test drive, see Larry and all the great people out here. And if you own or lease an Acura, Mike Chan and Jordan Ferber, they do great work back there in the service center too. Outstanding. And you get to relax. Got a little cafeteria. You can
nice
enjoy a little
cafe,
pastel.
get some Cuban coffee or a little sandwich or a wrap or a smoothie.
And by the way, also you can they have complimentary water over on the far left side and a little refrigerator.
Yeah, we got water. We got all the modern conveniences.
Yeah.
Starbucks, coffee, you name it.
Yeah. You guys can you can enjoy
all you can drink.
Yeah, TVs, tables, all that, so you can relax. You got to get some work done while they're rotating the tires, changing the oil, whatever it is, the filters, all that kind of stuff. Because here's the key to your Acura. Okay, you want it to last forever. Change the oil in the filters, and the thing is going to run forever.
Yeah.
That's it.
Look,
that's it, dude. It's really simple.
Honda
it's really
builds
not
the best
difficult.
stuff. It's the luxury line of Honda. You want something reliable? It's a tank. It's going to run forever. Mrs. O over here is driving her car for 16 years.
Yeah,
that's not good for business. It's good for the service business, but it's not good for the new car sales business.
You're getting her this year, coming up in 26.
See, patience pays.
We're switching her finally off. She loves her vehicle. She loves her RDX. She has beaten that thing up, but it's time.
She's known that car almost as long as she's known you.
Yes.
So it's part of the family.
It's one of the first cars we got here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great. We're excited about what 2026 has to offer and to finish up the year strong. So we're here all day. We're open every day, and for your convenience, whatever it takes to help you get your new car, if that's what you so desire. And we're here to help. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, O. Thanks for a great year.
Thank you, my brother.
Happy New Year, everyone. Happy holidays to all.
Thank you, Larry. There you go. The great Larry Schlossberg. Come on down and say hi to him here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, and he will take care of you, man. He will definitely take care of you. All right, good people. All right, let's see what we got here. Bucks favored by 5.5. The over and under is 45.5. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Mr. Sean Stanley, the great Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery of your company, corporation, school, whatever it is. You need uniforms, hats, shirts. Call Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Support the great sponsors that keep us going every day. Tonight, the Heat are in action against the Hawks. They're 2-9 in their last 11 games. The Hawks are favored by 3. The over and under is 247.5. Heat plus 130 on the money line. The Hawks are minus 150. Hockey tonight. Panthers hosting the Lightning. The Lightning are plus 100 on the money line. The Panthers are minus 120. Tonight, FIU, baby. They're going bowling. The Serve Pro First Responders Bowl, and they're taking on the University of Texas San Antonio, and they are favored by 5.5. The over and under is 59.5. FIU is plus 190 on the money line, and University of Texas San Antonio is minus 250 on the money line. The Canes, they are now a 9.5-point dog. It's gone between 7.5 and 9.5. It's back to 9.5. What do you got? Yeah, it drops. Yeah, 2 whole points too, man. Over and under is 42. Miami's plus 275 on the money line. Ohio State is minus 375 on the money line. Fort Lauderdale United is off till January 31st. They'll be back to take on Lexington SC at Beyond Bank Card Field. And, of course, you can get your tickets. Go to FTLUTD.com. Dolphins and Bucks at 1 o'clock. We will start our pregame show at 11:30 to get you ready for the second to last game of the season. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Oh, man. So last night we had a couple stinkers. Broncos get by the Chiefs. The Cowboys get by the Commanders. So the Vikings defeat the Lions 23-10, and at the same time eliminate Dan Campbell and the Lions from playoff contention. And, for years we have thought, and some Dolphins have thought, the one that got away was Dan Campbell. Is it short-lived? Is Dan Campbell's run over with the Detroit Lions? It was fun while it lasted. They bit some ankles, right? Didn't win anything, but they bit some ankles, and it was fun. So, do they have a future? Because you know what's come out? Dan Campbell with Ben Johnson, 36-15. Dan Campbell without Ben Johnson, 11-21-1. The Bears with Ben Johnson this year, 11-4. So was it Dan Campbell or was it Ben Johnson? Because it's starting to look like it was Ben Johnson, not Dan Campbell. And it looks like the Chicago Bears ended up getting the right coach for them and the wrong coach for the Lions because it has gutted them. Jared Goff has not had the year. Hell, he had 5 turnovers in that game, 2 interceptions and 3 fumbles. And now they're talking about he's got 90 million left or something, and should they keep him? And all. It's like, wow, that thing's turned around quickly. Like with a quickness, they don't want him there anymore. So was the Dan Campbell thing fraudulent? Because, one of the things that I thought I was wrong, I was admitting that I was wrong on this because I didn't buy Dan Campbell. I thought it was a bunch of raw bullshit. Didn't I say that? And it looked like, no, maybe there was some substance to it. Well, maybe I was right. Maybe he is just a raw guy, and that shit wears out quickly because maybe Ben Johnson was the real brains of the outfit and why because now he leaves, they fall apart, and the Bears all of a sudden, even with their young erratic quarterback, they're actually doing much better. Even the young erratic quarterback looks better still. Not there yet. I don't buy him completely, but man, he can make some stuff off script that is pretty special because he's a special athlete. He's got a wicked arm and he's got great athleticism. Everything on schedule stuff that he struggles with that still. He's still not there yet. But man, he has some talent, and Ben Johnson's found a way to go 11-4 with him. It's impressive, dude. Impressive. So the whole thing, how we jumped the gun and, oh my God, we missed out on Dan Campbell, which you didn't because really he had to go somewhere else for a while before he was really even prepared for this. But are we now seeing that maybe he's prepared to a certain extent, but he still has his limitations? Because part of being a head coach is being able to build one great staff after another. Example, Mike Vrabel does not have the same staff he had at Tennessee. And guess what he's doing in New England? That's because he's a great head coach. And he's proven it in Tennessee, and now he's proving it in New England. He's a great head coach, period, with different assistant coaches. That's the great head coach. The great head coach that can turn over his staff many times over, but continues to win. That's when you know you have a great head coach. So the Dan Campbell one, we need to take a look at it and see how it develops over the next year or two. Because if it continues to go in this direction, Dan Campbell will be out of a job in the next year or two. That's all I got to say. But We're going to find out if Dan Campbell got exposed. All right? All right. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum donation. Rob Erickson, thank you for the love on Venmo. Rather take my chances on seller next year if I want a Lamar style of QB. Regardless, I'm not taking a QB with the style of 75% run with 25% running. I'm with you. The Lamar Jackson thing is just absolute stupidity. Makes no sense for Miami whatsoever. I'm 100% with you. And thank you for your generosity, sir. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. What were you going to say there, Sean?
I was going back on the Ben Johnson thing with him being he might be a QB guru because he took
that's right.
Jared Goff when he came over, he was a little bit erratic. I know a change of scenery helps everybody every once in a while, but he found a way to make the offense work with Jared Goff, just like the same thing as you said with him going over to Caleb John, and watching
Caleb Williams.
Right. Yeah, John, sorry.
It's all right.
Williams.
Same shit.
They got the quarterback
right.
figured out a little bit. I mean, again, he knows how to manage them, I guess would be the right way to say it. And remember,
it's what you said. He's a quarterback guru.
Yeah, and then halfway through this season, if you remember, Dan Campbell took over calling the offense because he wasn't happy with what he was getting, and I don't think he got any better with him calling the offense.
No, it did not. It did not. So, something to take a look at with Dan Campbell now. And again, just spinning it to the Miami angle because it's what we are, right? But just because, we jumped to go, oh, my God, we screwed up. Maybe you didn't, dude. Yeah, maybe it's just that he got the right assistant coach for a moment and it made him look really good. And now the right assistant coach is the head coach, and he doesn't look so good now. And that's a great point on your part that he took over the play calling and it didn't improve either. And the fact that he had to take over the play calling means he didn't hire the right person once Ben Johnson left. And that's part of his job. It's part of your job as a head coach is to be able to build staffs over and over again. We've talked about that here many times over. That's part of being a great head coach. It's just the way it goes. Yes, sir, Anthony. I'm bringing back the goatee. I'm back to being lazy. I don't want to shave around my face. It's a lot easier to shave this and keep it clean. This part here is always, it's rougher to shave this part here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I'm shaving here, and then the part of the mustache, I have to then turn the razor on and shave upwards to try to really dig in and get that whole, because it's like sandpaper, bro. I'm shaving sandpaper, Like, damn, these whiskers are tough, man, And by the way, I zapped my face several times to try to limit growth on my face. Okay, I did that for several years. No, for a couple years. I did that where I zapped my face a few times. So less hairs growing on my face, and yet still plenty of hairs growing on my face. So, yeah, unfortunately. True Fin Fan. Thank you, sir. Wow. How did I lost the chat board here. How did I get it back? Here we go. There we go. True Fin Fan. It says Belichick GM, Campbell head coach, Lamar QB, Super Bowl. No. Big O Tyler Hero and Bam should be traded. Yeah, well, join the bandwagon that's been out there for years. I've been telling you, get rid of those guys, man. They're nice players, but not what you need. Let's see, what else do we have here? Too bad JoJo isn't that guy. Yeah, he just, as much as we wanted JoJo Trader to be that guy, he has just not turned into him. No, Dante Trader is turning into a better player, not JoJo. Definitely not. So, those of you out there that are, okay, first and foremost, if the Dolphins and Stephen Ross are going to reset, the way you do it is you fire everybody and you hire a real general manager and you get out of the way. A real football person, let him do it. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Who knows? This whole Champ Kelly stuff, the reason why you got rid of Greer and you put Champ Kelly in early, it just kind of smells really dangerous. But whatever. It is what it is. So let's say you're going to go for a head coach because you're going to do the lazy way and you don't want to go through the whole big process because you're 85 and you don't really give a shit that much about winning. You just kind of want to save face and try to make it look like you're kind of trying. But meanwhile, they're taking all your money and all the suckers are walking through the turnstiles and they're buying suites and all that kind of stuff. And that's, to me, that's how Stephen Ross looks at all of us. We're just suckers, to be quite honest. That's why he's laughing in the press box when his team sucks. I just, I think of Jorge Mas. I've been around his ass when they're losing, and it's not pleasant. He is not happy. And this might be the third game of the regular season. We're not talking about the playoffs. Not talking playoffs. Talk about the third game of the regular season, and he's pissed that they're losing. Okay? It could be an exhibition game, and he's pissed that they're not trying like they should, or whatever it is. I've seen owners, and they are not supposed to be happy. Okay? But let's just say, because, the silly Dolphin fan out there, and I do like making fun of a certain section of our fans, because there's always a certain section of fans that are just silly. So now they want Harbaugh, right? Is that what they want, right? Or who's the other guy that, Tomlin, okay? And there's no way either guy's going to get fired. In fact, when you're hearing all this talk about Lamar, it already tells you that Harbaugh's staying. Harbaugh's the guy that's in charge. Harbaugh's the guy that has the future. Lamar does not. Okay? So they're going to keep Harbaugh, and they're going to keep Tomlin. But let's just have some fun. Let's just have some fun. One of those guys becomes available. Why would he pick the Dolphins over other teams? Why? What is it? Now, let me tell you why right from the get-go you're not picking the Dolphins at all, besides the owner, which is number one problem, okay, because he's a complete goofball. The Bryans had a problem this year, Sean. Did you know that? Brian Callahan. Do you know where he was coaching? Tennessee. Very good. Brian Dable. Giants. What do Tennessee and the Giants have that the Dolphins don't? No. What do the Giants and the Tennessee Titans have that the Miami Dolphins don't? There you go. I didn't have to wait for the chat. A QB. So let's just say John Harbaugh becomes available. Is he going to go to Miami with no QB and the 10th pick in the draft and all kinds of cap chaos for the next 2 years? Or is he going to go to Tennessee with Cam Ward? Or is he going to say, you know what, I'll go to the Giants. They've got the Jackson Dart kid. If I can just kind of, keep him in the pocket a little bit more, maybe I got it myself. But Miami doesn't have a quarterback. Miami doesn't have a way of getting a quarterback. Miami has cap problems for the next 2 years, and they might even want to still keep Tua around for a year. Why am I going to go there? Oh, I'm sorry, you sensitive Dolphin fans. You don't like honesty and the truth. I get that. But I live in honesty. I live in the reality of what my sports teams are, owners, or whatever it is. The Heat doesn't live in reality, but I live in reality. They think Bam is a star. I know he's a super role player. I was right. They were wrong. I would have traded Jimmy Butler after the second championship try. They didn't. So some of us live in reality and some of us don't. The Miami Dolphins have nothing attractive. They have cap problems. They don't have a quarterback, and they have a bad owner. A meddling, old, bad owner. So, for those of you that think that that's an avenue for you, or you think you may have a chance, or you think you're the sexy bride, you're not. You will always be the bridesmaid as long as you have that owner, as long as you're in situations like this on a consistent basis. And I don't know who else is going to get fired, but if anybody else gets fired that actually has a quarterback, that's another team that jumps in front of the Miami Dolphins. Okay? As Gnarls Barkley would say, ain't that some shit? Give me 30 seconds. We talk to Steve Schllober, the wise guy, and the picks of the week.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rheaume. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rheaume can help.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Steve Schllober at Hialeah Park, ready to go. And they're giving away a Mercedes, too. So we are days away from the Mercedes giveaway, my friend.
Big O. It's a big day. December 31st, you got to be there at Hialeah Park, right? I mean, and by the way, between now and December 31st, we got all kinds of crazy things, really good promos in poker going on, too.
That's right. That's right.
Talk about $200,000 ace king. Somebody's going to win $200,000 in their ace. A lot of other places around, they have $25,000 ace king. We got a $200,000 ace king royal. I mean, and a $100,000 bad beat. If you're going to get beat, why not? Go with $100,000. Pretty good.
Amen.
Pretty good. Hey, listen.
Did you watch any of the games yesterday?
You know, on and off. We had a lot of people at the house. Did I tell you?
They weren't sexy, and they weren't sexy. So it wasn't like, none of the games were games like I got to sit. You know what? I sat down to watch the San Antonio OKC game because to me, that's the NBA Finals. Those are the two best teams in the West, which are the two best teams in the NBA. And I wanted to see if San Antonio could beat OKC 3 straight times this year. And OKC has the best record in the league, and they've lost 5 times this year, 3 of them to San Antonio. To me, I was looking forward to an NBA game instead of the NFL games. How crazy.
Yeah. The NFL was weak yesterday. I mean, my son, too, he did the same thing. He turned to the basketball game, but we had to watch the Dallas game because my future daughter-in-law is a Dallas fan. And that was interesting because I got my son's an Eagle fan and we're Dolphins fans. And I have a little affection for the Giants, too. And that was a little bit, but they're horrible. That was like 2 horrible teams going at it. It didn't matter. It was an NFL game that didn't matter. It was pretty bad, but it wasn't the greatest football day. But the wise guy, the real Jersey wise guy, Steve Schllober is just a guy from Jersey. I don't know if I ever mentioned that, but I'm from Jersey too. Oh, and by the way, I'm in Jersey. I'm in Jersey as we speak, and it's a balmy, 25 degrees, but don't worry, it feels like 17. So you should really kind of race up here, Big O, and enjoy. You and Sean would like it.
Well, Sean will be there shirtless. Me, I'll be bundled up in like 8 jackets or something. It's crazy. By the way, you and the wise guy went both 2-1. So,
yes.
Let's see what we got for the picks.
Yeah, we got to break the tie. So the wise guy. Here's the wise guy's picks.
Okay, let's go.
I've been looking at them. They're okay. Green Bay. It's home. It's in Green Bay. Over the Ravens. I think the Ravens are finished. They're just, and it's going to be cold. And Lamar's like like yourself. Like, these South Florida guys go up to cold weather. They kind of freeze up like when it gets 30 degrees or below.
I love this game. Green Bay -4. The only thing I'm worried about, the only thing I am really, really worried about, because they still are playing for, I think, the division, right? I think it is. Or no, they won the division. They're playing for seeding. I think it is.
Yeah,
They're playing still for seeding. But they're not. Their top running back, I don't think, will end up playing this week because they clinched yesterday with Detroit losing. So they clinched the division. But I know they're still playing for seeding, so that's the only thing I worry about. That will they use the other running backs, and obviously that'll be a little bit of a downgrade. But Baltimore with Snoop, please give me a break.
Yeah, -4.5 too. So. Anyhow, now the Niners.
It's at 4 right now, actually. So,
I just looked at it at the Hard Rock app, and I thought I saw 4.5. But if it's 4, go for all day long. Because
that's at the Hard Rock right now. It's at 4 right now.
Actually. Beautiful. You know what? That's so funny because the wise guy had it at 4. I checked right before the broadcast, and it was 4.5. But it's bouncing. That means it's bouncing. That means money's going into the game. That's good. I like Green Bay all day long. -4. So now the next game. And the next game is quite amazing, actually. The Niners are actually playing. They could be the number 1 seed if they win out. It's unbelievable. It's hard to believe with all their injuries and what they've gone through this year. This tells you what a good organization and a good coach and a good quarterback can do. But anyhow, that's another story that we've had a million times, and everybody knows the answer. It's not going to change in Miami anytime soon. But the 49, the wise guy, the Jersey wise guy, likes the 49ers -3 over the Bears. Okay. Tough game to pick. Now let me give you my opinion on that Jersey guy pick. I don't like the Bears. I don't know what it is. I never really liked the Bears. Khalid, I could go either way. I mean, I think he's very talented, but he's not like my favorite. I'm not like he's
erratic still from the pocket. I totally get it. He lives off script, actually, is what he is. He's one of those guys. He's an athlete that can make some plays, and he's got a wicked arm. He's got legs. But let me tell you something. This is what I talked about before you got here. The Dan Campbell fire. Is it done? Is it over for Dan Campbell in Detroit? Did we see the best of Dan Campbell? Why? Dan Campbell with Ben Johnson is 36-15. Dan Campbell without Ben Johnson, remember, Ben Johnson left and he had a new offensive coordinator. He took over the play callings from that offensive coordinator this year. Dan Campbell was calling the offense. Without Johnson, he's 11-21-8. And this year eliminated from the playoffs. The Bears get Ben Johnson from Detroit. And all of a sudden, he's 11-4. And as my astute friend here just pointed out before you came on, Ben Johnson has proven that he can get the best out of Jared Goff, who had 5 turnovers yesterday. Okay. And now he's getting the best out of Caleb Williams, who never looked like this last year. He has looked way better this year than he ever did last year. So is Ben Johnson the real key to the Detroit success? Because we know he's the real key to the Chicago success. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Detroit moving forward without Ben Johnson. We see they're not even in the playoffs. We'll see if Dan Campbell can overcome that. And what does Ben Johnson continue to do in Chicago moving forward? So it's very interesting. So say what you want about Caleb. I'm not a Caleb believer myself. So if he succeeds, he's going to prove me wrong. But I got to give Ben Johnson some credit. He made the kid look way better than he did last year. Way better.
Absolutely. He has improved Caleb's play greatly. And hats off to Caleb for listening to him and actually using his advice and stuff. Look, Johnson's the real deal, right? And I also think that Goff might have his better days behind him. With Johnson or without Johnson, I think Goff was on the downside. I just think that, but
maybe not. But the bottom line is, under Ben Johnson, he played his best football of his career.
Yep.
And so, that has to. Sometimes, players, they don't do it all themselves, dude. It really depends on the coach, the scheme,
the system,
how they complement you, all those kind of things. Because You could be Kurt Warner with the Rams, or Kurt Warner with the Giants, or Kurt Warner with Arizona. You see, you could be Steve Young in BYU in the LA Express, or you could be in Tampa, and then you go to San Francisco, and you're like, well, wait a minute. He was an ass kicker with the LA Express. He was an ass kicker at BYU. He sucked at Tampa, and then all of a sudden, Bill Walsh says, no, he doesn't suck. Give him to me. And the rest is history. So a lot of times, even if you're a great quarterback, if you're in a bad situation, it just doesn't bring the best out of you. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
that's a shame sometimes. So Ben Johnson knows how to bring the best out of two different quarterbacks, by the way. One's a runner and the other guy's a pocket passer.
And one's real young and one's a seasoned veteran. I mean, look, Ben Johnson gets a lot of credit here. And I think what Detroit needs to do is they need to get a new offensive coordinator. I think that he's got to stop calling the plays. I mean,
he took over because the guy he hired wasn't good enough. So this is, but this is part of a head coach's job. You're going to have to turn over coaching staffs because you're going to lose assistants. Look at Mike Vrabel. He doesn't have the same staff he had in Tennessee. He has a different staff in New England, and he had to turn over staffs in Tennessee, and now he has a new staff in New England. And what's the common denominator? Under Mike Vrabel, you will win in Tennessee, and you will win in New England.
Yeah, really amazing. That one hurts me to even talk about because we should have had him, but that's another one. But anyhow, so back to the Jersey guys, wise guys picks. This one I like a lot. Now, remember, there's going to be some weather in this game. The Steelers -3 over the Browns, and just I don't know. I mean, I think that's Aaron Rodgers. He should beat up the Browns. If he doesn't get 3 touchdowns, I'd be surprised. Now the weather could be a factor.
Yeah, though it might be a little bit of a tough game, but I'm with you. They should win. Plus, the Steelers have everything to play for. So yes, it should be. It should be a game. I think 3 points is a safe play. Actually, I can see them winning by a touchdown with no problem.
Yeah, or more. So wise guys, Green Bay -4. Green Bay's at home. 49ers -3. Niners are at home over the Bears, which that helps a little in that game, although that's a tough pick. And Steelers are at Cleveland -3. So that's his picks. But I got my picks.
All right, let's do it.
So the first pick is very lackluster because it's the only pick that I look at them separately. I look at them before I get the wise guys picks. And I just love Green Bay over the Ravens. I just love that game. I don't know why. I'm all over that game.
Okay.
I also think that, and this is that concept that I do sometimes, and sometimes it works. I think more times than not it works. But I think Cincinnati is going to crush Arizona. I think Joe Burrow needs to put some stats up, and it's -7.5. It's in Cincinnati. I think he wants to do it in front of a hometown crowd. I think he's gonna crush Arizona. So that's my second pick.
-7. Okay. All right.
Yeah, -7. And then I like this one. This one I've been waiting for years, to be quite honest with you. And I think Trevor Lawrence, just hasn't really played the way he should. Although this year he is proving me wrong. He's finally, proving me right. He's playing a game, right? So Jacksonville -6 over Indiana. Look, everybody wants to pick, Phillip Rivers. The old guy comes in and blah, blah, blah. But it's more than Phillip Rivers. I think their defense is hurting. I think they got some problems. I think Jacksonville's going to light it up.
I agree. I think this whole Phillip Rivers thing runs out of gas. And against a defense like Jacksonville's, I could see the Jags winning this game by 10 points. I'm with you on this one. I like this game, actually. This might be one of my favorite games of the week because I just don't believe this Indy thing is going to last very long. And Jacksonville proved me wrong, dude. Not the Trevor Lawrence thing. I've always been a Trevor Lawrence guy, so I'm glad he's proven me right. But I still did not see the Jags be this good. Not at all. Not even close.
They're lightening up. Look, they are lightening up this year. They're finally doing it. They've got a lot of players and athletes around Trevor Lawrence. They got a good defense. They got a good setup there. But I have another one. And maybe you can help me out on this one. This is just a bonus thing. I happen to think the over-under. This is just a Steve Calabro bonus play. You get this. You see at Hialeah Park, you get a lot of bonuses. Whether you're winning a Mercedes, a nice Ace King Royal, whatever you got, all kinds of raffles and poker. We give away bonuses here. I think, and tell me if I've gone crazy. I might have gone crazy. Maybe I'm in Jersey, and you get a little crazy when you get back into the Jersey vibe here. But I think New England is going to crush the Jets. Like it's going to be. Like, I don't think Vrabel's going to be nice about it. And I think the Jets...
over 42 and a half. You're right.
Yeah.
You've learned your lesson. You're not going to lay the 13 and a half.
Yeah. No. But I like the over. I think it's going to be like, it's going to be like 35 to 20, something like that, or 42 to 10. I really do believe that. I think it's going to be one of those games that Vrabel just keeps throwing. He just keeps throwing the ball, and it's going to be, May is going to throw all over the place. I just and I feel for my friends.
And they're playing for home field, so they're playing.
Yeah, they got to win. They got to win. And they're not going to ease up. They're not going in like half-ass. They're going to go in there full blast.
They're also playing for the division because they can't screw up in the next two games because Buffalo can also get them in the division. So they're playing for home field and they're playing for the division. So they've got not only the Jets, but Miami's also screwed the week after.
Exactly.
Not that they were gonna, but they weren't going to get a team that was going to play for nothing. They're going to play. They're going to get a team that has to play for something, which is bad news for the Dolphins. So yeah,
I think I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave you with this. I think the New England Patriots might score. The over-under is 42 and a half, right? I think New England might score 42. To be honest with you. Right. So all I need for the Jets is a half a point, which for some Jet fans, they might say, holy shit, but hey, Big O, you didn't say anything. Look, I'm sporting my new hat from Christmas, the black Miami hat with, look at it. This is not like, and I think it's a nice blend. I'm a little different up in Jersey. Some guys want to kick my ass sometimes.
The only thing is I wish they would have bought you the real logo, not the whale logo. That's the only thing. But it is a nice hat. It is a nice hat.
It's the new thing, right? But I'm sporting it. So in baseball, I'm a Yankees and a Mets fan, right? Today I'm Yankees. Maybe next week I'm Mets. I'm going to the Mets preseason games.
That's not allowed. That's not allowed.
I have like dozens of friends that they want to kick my ass sometimes. And so
Steve, that's not allowed. You cannot be a Yankees and a Mets fan.
I am.
A Mets and a Yankees fan. That's not allowed.
Listen, the 1969 amazing Mets did it to me. When they won the World Series, when went for from last.
Stick with the Mets, then you stick with the Mutts. Then if that's
but then
you're going to be a Mutt or you're going to be a Yank, but you can't be both.
But then the Derek Jeter years were so good. I mean, after having Don Mattingly not win a World Series, then Jeter win a half a dozen, whatever, 4 or 5 of them.
The bandwagon is always good, my man. Of course, the bandwagon's always good.
Well, I gotta see, and now my wife, she has an interesting point.
Switch, but I'm stuck with the stinking Marlins, bro.
Yeah, you got problems.
I can't switch. I can only bitch and complain that they suck and the owner's broke and he's got rabbit ears coming out of his pants. That's all he does.
In Jersey, we get a choice. You got the two NFL teams. You got the two Major League Baseball teams. Now I want to just share. But I'm going to change directions a little about that because now you got me thinking. My wife is very upset about, and she's she's from New York.
Are you an Islanders and a Rangers fan too? I mean,
no, I'm worse than that. No, I'm worse than that. I like the Rangers and the Devils, but I can't even go there.
Well, that's right. He's got to go with the Jersey team, the Devils.
Yeah, come on, Islanders. They're like that. That's another country.
Yeah. No, not
if you live in. If you live in New Jersey, Long Island's another country. You know what I mean? That's I don't know where nobody goes out there, but people live out there. But here's my wife's thing, and she makes a point. She makes a good point.
And yet people that live on the island will swear by the island.
Well, they say that Jersey is like, it's like, they say bad things about Jersey,
Right, exactly.
the armpit.
Swear by Long Island. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But anyhow, so she's from the Westchester County, Port Chester, a nice town in New York, right? But she's been a Jersey girl for a long time, like 30, 40 years. And she has a good point. And the Jersey guys need to do something about this. The New York football Giants really should be the Jersey Giants. The practice facilities in New Jersey. Their stadium is in New Jersey. Wait, it gets worse. So the Jets, their practice facilities in Florham Park, New Jersey, which is like 25 miles from New York. And they play their games in Jersey. And the Jersey Jets, 2 J's there, that kind of has a nice little ring. JJ, all 9 yards. So she's saying that all those two NFL teams need to change from New York Giants and New York Jets to the Jersey Jets and the Jersey Giants. No, I think she's onto something.
I get it. Now, should we be called the Miami Gardens Dolphins?
Well, that's one town. That's one little town. I'm talking about a whole state.
How about the Chiefs? They finally fixed it. Kansas City's actually going to be playing in Kansas.
Yes, but there's a reason for that.
I know both cities are Kansas City. There's a Kansas City, Missouri, and a Kansas City, Kansas. But you would, a lot of people probably thought that Kansas City was playing in Kansas for many years now. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
Some people just figured out, wait a minute, they're Missouri, not Kansas. What? You know what I mean? So this is the opposite of what your wife was talking about. They're actually correcting it now.
Yeah, but they're doing it for one reason. One word. Money. It's all about money.
A family that is worth $25 billion
needs a few more billion.
Taxpayers to spend $3 billion on them. I mean, that is just.
Isn't that great? You're worth $20 billion, and you're gonna get $3 billion from taxpayers.
God,
it's a great country.
We are some stupid individuals, bro. I'm telling you, we are some stupid individuals. Down here, Stephen Ross has had to pay for his own, dude. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but the Marlins, the ex-owner of the Marlins, he took the voters. He took them to for their shirt.
And lesson learned. He then sold it and made $1 billion, and we made nothing. And now you know why you shouldn't give billionaires any breaks.
But the Hunt family got $3 billion.
But the Hunt family suckered another city into $3 billion. That is.
But they're right. At least they're in the right state. At least
they corrected the issue now. Yes, they did.
But I'm with my wife 100% on these Jersey. The Jersey Jets sounds great. Oh, by the way, Woody Harrelson is.
Plus, Jersey stinks. It smells, and the Jets stink and smell. I agree. Jersey Jets, right? I mean, it goes perfect. It goes.
Well, look, Bingo, I'm going to give you some Jersey history before I leave here. So the previous owner was the Hess family. The Hess Corporate Oil Corporation was headquartered in New Jersey. Then they sold it to the Woody Johnson & Johnson. Guess where they're headquartered? In New Jersey. It's crazy. But anyhow. They're not listening to me.
Don't worry about it. But the Johnsons will probably move to Florida anyways, because everybody's moving their companies to Florida or Texas anyway. So
Well, Woody, but if I know Woody, and just by his prior, he'll get lost on the way to Florida.
Probably.
Woody will.
Probably. Or get jacked because they'll take off that stupid big chain off of them. One of the two. Yes. Either way. All right, Steve. Have a fantastic weekend, my brother. We've got the picks, and we'll put the video out over the weekend. So folks, just in case they miss it, they'll get to see the picks. Appreciate you as always, my friend. Have a fantastic weekend.
Take care now. Bye now.
You got it. The great Steve Calabro. Remember, on the 31st, they're giving away that Mercedes. So get on down there. And every time you play those machines, you're getting an entry. Every single time you pull the handle or push the button, you're getting an entry to win that Mercedes. And by the way, if you go there on the 31st, say hi. I will be there with the wife. I'm going to try to win the Mercedes too. You know, I'm a working stiff like the rest of you out there, man. All right. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, please. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Let's get to a little music. We always love doing a little music. Who was born on this date? What musician was born the day after Christmas? Daughtry, from Chris Daughtry, American guitar singer. Of course, American Idol winner. Or actually, was he a runner-up, I think, or something like that? Anyways, runner-up, right? Born in 1979. Jared Joseph Leto, born in 1971, from 30 Seconds to Mars. How about that? And doesn't he like climb buildings, and he does like all kinds of crazy stuff? Let's see who else. Lars Ulrich, drummer for Metallica, the Danish musician, drummer, and founding member of the heavy metal band, born in 1963. James Kotick, best known for his work with the Scorpions, former drummer of the Scorpions. Unfortunately, we lost him in 2024. Born in 1962. Henning Schmidt from Kraftwerk, born in 1953. This is a really strong list. Day after Christmas, bro. Damn. Let's see what else. Steve Witherington from Ace. How long has this been going on? Born in 1953. Fleming Williams, the only man in the Hughes Corporation, because it was two women and a guy, and the guy is Fleming Williams from the Hughes Corporation. Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat, don't tip the boat over. Phil Spector, that disgusting individual, producer, created the wall of sound. He is a genius in his own right and everything. Benny King, the Crystals, the Ronettes, Baby I Love You, the Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Love and Feeling, Ike and Tina Turner, River Deep, Mountain High, produced albums for the Ramones, John Lennon, George Harrison, the Beatles, Cher. But he's also a disgusting individual who apparently murdered a young lady. Anyway, he was born in 1939, and he has terrible hair, by the way. That's the other thing. Who else celebrating? But one hell of a list. Abdul Fakir, founding member of the Four Tops, bro. Reach out. All right, let's go with other famous people celebrating birthdays the day after Christmas. Let's see if this list is as good for famous people as it was for musicians. U.S. Admiral George Dewey, born in 1837. College Football Hall of Fame member Frank Broyles, born in 1924. TV personality John Walsh, born in 1945. He is 80 years old today. If I don't give you the age, that means they have passed away. Hall of Fame member, not Steve Carlton. Carlton Fisk, born in 1947. He's 78. I just did that recently, actually. Baseball Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith, born in 1954. He's 71 today. Let's see who else celebrate. Musician Jay from White Zombie, born in 1966. He's 59. Peter Klett from Candlebox, born in 1968. He's 57. Actress Beth Bears, born in 1985. She's 40. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay.
Adriana Rizzo turns 27. Amari Miller is 29. Midian turns 57. And Mina Shirakawa, she turns 38 on December 26th, 2025.
All right. Let's move over to music history, because I know you're all wondering what happened on the day after Christmas in music history. Did anything special happen? Well, let's find out. In 66, the year I was born, Jimi Hendrix wrote the lyrics to Purple Haze. Wow, in his dressing room between performances at the London's Upper Crust Club. Very cool. In 68, Led Zeppelin played their first U.S. gig in Boston. They opened up for Vanilla Fudge and MC5. Kick out the jams, mother effers. MC5 was so inspirational for so many bands. Rock, metal, punk. Like, they had elements of all of that in their music. They did. MC5 had no idea that they were playing punk before punk was punk. They had no idea they were playing metal before metal was metal. And they were influencing those two genres that did not exist. Okay? It's pretty impressive. Just saying. Just saying. Let's see. In 70, George Harrison became the first Beatle to top the Hot 100 as a solo artist with My Sweet Lord. It hit number 1. In 81, AC/DC started a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album charts with For Those About to Rock. We salute you. The follow-up to their highly successful album, Back in Black. In 99, Chicago soul pioneer Curtis Mayfield died in Roswell, Georgia at the age of 57. On August 14, 1990, he was paralyzed from the neck down when a stage lighting rig fell on top of him at a concert in Brooklyn. Can you imagine that shit? Poor man. In 2010, R&B and soul singer Tina Marie, Lover Girl, and Ooh La La, Square Biz, and more was found dead by her daughter in her Pasadena home. Tina Marie does not get enough credit for what an amazing musician and talent she was. Okay? Just outstanding, dude. Her music, her ability to write music and play music, and how diverse she was. She does not get enough credit for how good she was. Let me see if there's any birthdays that were left off the other list. Or not left off, just wasn't there. Let's see. Nope. Didn't miss out anything. That's what happened today in music history. Yes, sir.
Miami gets a break on Sunday. They won't have to face Tristan Wirfs. He is now out with a toe injury.
All right. That was my pick. All right. Oscar Rojas says Dan Marino drafted number 1 overall pick in 1983 by the LA Express. He did not sign with them. And the next year in 84, the LA Express drafted Steve Young. They kind of knew what quarterbacks they wanted, huh? I miss the USFL so much. I wish that the Trumpster wouldn't have screwed it all up. You know, but what are you going to do? Kind of what Trump does, screw things up. Let's see. What is it? Too Extreme says, Ross isn't a bad owner. He signs the checks and let the guys in the positions do their job. Do you want an owner like Jerry Jones running the franchise? Ross just hasn't hit on the right. Well, that's part of being a good owner, my brother. Okay, so Stephen Ross is not a bad owner. No, he's a terrible owner. Lots of people can spend, dude. Jerry Jones spends a lot, and he doesn't win without Jimmy Johnson. But what happened in New England? Well, wait a minute. They had the best quarterback ever. Supposedly at that moment, they had the best coach, and they won 6 titles. And then what happened? They ran out of gas, and then all of a sudden they're back. They've turned it over. They've got their coach. They've got their quarterback. That's the owner. The owner didn't stick with Belichick. The owner didn't stick with Mayo. The owner made a move from Mayo 1 year in. Our owner sticks to Joe Philbin, finds Adam Gase, stays too long with Mike McDaniel. You know, so you're a terrible owner. If you can't hire people to do the job, you're a terrible owner. Anybody makes money in football. Any moron can make money in football because you're not going to spend more money than you take in. There's called something, I think it's called a cap. Okay, so it restricts you from spending. It gives you only a certain amount that you can spend, and the rest is profits. So there's really no skill to running an NFL team. It's running on its own. So he doesn't get any credit for that. Your only job as an owner really is to hire the right people. And if you can't hire the right people for over 15 years, dude, you are a terrible owner. And that's what Stephen Ross is. He's a terrible owner. That's it. There's no other way to look at it to extreme. If you're cheap, then we know. If you're Mike Brown, then we know. But that's not what it is. And most owners aren't cheap. It's only like a couple of owners that are been known stingy. And Spanos is one of them with the Chargers. And right now he's spending up the ass. What he paid for Harbaugh and that staff, and what he's opening up the checkbooks in a big time way like he never has. So it's not just about checkbook to extreme. Sorry, I disagree with you. Stephen Ross is a horrible owner. Your job is to hire the right people. You're just lucky that you're in a Teflon business that you will make money no matter what. Hand over fist. Because it's the NFL and people can't live without it. So, yeah. Let's see. What else? Joe Robbie was cheap. Yeah. And guess what? After he lost his personnel people, he never won again. But remember, when he won, it was a time where money wasn't really driving the sport. And you can control players and keep them and all that kind of stuff. Then the World Football League came in and it kind of, turned over the apple cart there for a little bit. But then after it went back to it. And then once we had free agency and all of that, then yeah, exactly. And Robbie was cheap. And then once Shula lost his personnel people, he wasn't the same. He was always a great coach. He always maximized his rosters, but the poor man made all kinds of personnel mistakes to set himself back. So that's part of your game, dude. Part of the game is being able to turn over a franchise as an owner, as a head coach. And if you can't do that, you're not a good owner. You're not a good head coach. So Stephen Ross is a horrible owner. Absolutely horrible. You can't hire the right people. You suck, dude. You're a joke. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, folks, we appreciate. We thank the great Larry Schlossberg. We thank David Furones, Manny Navarro, Steve Calabro. As always, we thank the great Sean Stanley. Without him, can't happen. We always appreciate it. Love this man. Appreciate all of you out there. Thank you all. Appreciate all the support. As we wrap up another year here. And we're on our way to 6 years on this platform. So thank you. We'll be back on Sunday, and we'll get you ready at 11:30 for the Dolphins and the Bucks. Appreciate all of you out there. Much love. We'll see you on Sunday, same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.